Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's stream. We have Big Tiff. Which side are you on? Big Tiff Dog right over here. She is our financial guru, and we're going to be going over the Chapter 11 hearing, which is today. I also, I remembered, I didn't forget to put your channel in the description box of today's video. So please go sub to her if you aren't already. Tiff is here for all of us to ask our wizard questions. I did make this up. I showed Tiff this today, and I did make this up. So it's a little chapter 11 versus chapter 13. And it's a nice little visual that I have. But the reason that I put it together was because Ron and Jan filed for chapter 13, and then they didn't do the proper paperwork, which, surprise, surprise, and they got it dismissed. And now they have refiled for chapter 11. So I thought maybe, Tiff, if you could go over this and kind of explain it and really dumb it down for us, why they're different and why they would choose to go this route before we go into the hearing. I think that would be really helpful to get a better understanding.
Yeah, first of all, I have stars in my eyes over this graphic. It's amazing.
It's from ChatGPT, so don't get too excited.
I don't care anymore, really. It's beautiful. And so, yeah, it's a really good visual of the differences, and especially like the first line alone. Chapter 11 is for businesses and or high debt individuals. And so the way I've been explaining Ron and Jan filing chapter 11 is that they make too much money for chapter 7 and they have too much debt for chapter 13. So chapter 11 is really their only option.
Well, and as a reminder, chapter 7 is what Laura filed on her own and then just got that dismissed to the point that she cannot file bankruptcy for another year.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And so Laura is a good example of somebody who would file for chapter 7 under proper terms and be eligible in that case because she's low income.
So when we're looking at like high debt individuals, we're looking at, because the Owenses we've discovered like 1.5 million in debt, right?
Well over that.
Okay.
I think we're up to 2.9. It's a lot.
Damn.
Yeah, the mortgages alone are 1.9 almost. They're like 1.89. They're high. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of debt. So anyway, keep going down the line with a chapter 11. You can keep operating your businesses. You can negotiate what you owe with your creditors, and there's no debt limit for chapter 11 like there is with chapter 13. There's no fixed timeline with chapter 11. I think they may have standards of what they follow, but there's, like the creditors also have to approve most of what happens in chapter 11.
Okay.
It is very expensive and very complex, and the different rivers this could go down in so many different ways is too much to go into. Like, it's just not possible for us to know all that stuff. So it is very complex, and it's expensive in that, legal fees alone could be, a minimum of $50,000.
Okay. Now, how do you justify getting a lawyer to bring you through bankruptcy court when you are filing bankruptcy because you have no money?
Yeah. So, it happens, right? Like people get into situations that aren't within their control. For example, with businesses, you see it a lot where small businesses, especially, expenses become too much for the company to sell their product or whatever it is, their service, at the price that the market is willing to pay for it. So under no fault of their own, because of different things that happen in the economic system, they cannot operate the business anymore, right? So to do the proper either dissolution or reorganization, you would go through bankruptcy so that you could properly pay off all of your creditors. So they don't really, and I don't think they really consider. I know it sounds weird to us, but it's just an expense. It's a cost of doing business to get all the creditors paid as much, because you do want to recover from a bankruptcy as a business. You want to recover from it. And so, yeah.
How long does it take on your credit to recover from something like this?
Surprisingly, not very long. Chapter 11 may be different because it hangs out longer. So chapter 13 is funny because it'll show that you've started, you're making payments. So it actually kind of cleans up your credit pretty quickly. Chapter 7 too, even, because what the creditors know is that once you have filed a Chapter 7 and it has finished, gone to completion, you can't file again. I think it's for another 7 years.
Okay.
Rare occasions you may be able to, but you typically cannot file again right away. So creditors will be willing to give you credit because they know you can't file bankruptcy on it again, right? It's a little tough. You're going to get some, not so great terms on any credit you do receive, but it's not as hard as people think to recover. It's actually, I heard back when the foreclosure boom was happening, we had a lot of short sale things going on and seminars and all this kind of stuff. People, they want to do short sale instead of go through foreclosure, where you sell your house for less than what it's worth and the lender agrees, hey, we know you owe us 200,000. The house is now only worth 150. We're going to accept 150 and call it a day. So anyway, one bankruptcy attorney said in a meeting, I'll never forget this, it's much easier to recover from a bankruptcy than it is a late pay on your credit report.
Really?
Yeah. And the algorithm is so weird. And that's the downside of the algorithm. But yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, and then so with Chapter 11, the court and the creditors vote on your plan. The creditors vote and the court decides whether or not, their votes are appropriate, I guess is the best way to put it. Because the creditors really do have a good amount of say in what happens. And then your debts are restructured and your business hopefully survives, right? That's why there's that maybe there.
Okay.
So yeah, and Chapter 13 is just more of an individual plan for medium income earners with, moderate debt and most likely a house to protect and secure so that they don't lose the house.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Lindsay B. Kitty Cat says, I graduated law school in 2009, so I did a lot of volunteer pro bono work with negotiating with mortgage companies on behalf of homeowners facing foreclosure. Yeah. That was a funny, weird market at the time because like all of a sudden you had this huge need for that kind of talent and knowledge and very little talent and knowledge available out there in the market. So we were learning on the fly how to handle this stuff. It was crazy time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still learning so much. It's interesting because it's like I'm a homeowner and that's about it. I don't know when it comes to money, I don't know much. I don't know much. I know how to have and it's all thanks to my husband. When I met my husband, I had a little bit of debt, $2,500. And my husband's like, I don't carry debt. I'll never carry debt. He's like, if we're gonna move in together, we're gonna pay off that debt. You're gonna pay me back, and then I'm gonna put your name on all my credit cards, and I'm gonna put them in the safe so that you can't spend them. So thanks to my husband, I have an 800 credit score. I can't use it because I can't spend shit, but
you got it.
But also I know how to spend money. We did go through the refinancing process. We did buy a house, but when it comes to things like this and organizing money and moving money the way that they do, I don't understand it. And the more you compare it to the shell game, it really does make sense. I just don't understand why you would shell game yourself so far to get here.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of, pride. I keep saying hubris because I feel like that word just kind of encapsulates how they walk through life. And they don't want to admit defeat. So, and I think they honestly believe the next big bad loan will solve their problem, I guess.
Yeah.
Although, it won't. And so I also like, I am judging these particular people, but I don't judge people in general for financial,
No,
right?
But that's the thing. Like when you go back through all the papers, you can see so clearly what they're doing.
Yeah. I remember the day. And even I'm sitting at this computer, like it was like the daylight coming in the window. And I was just like, oh my God, these people are in trouble. Like,
yeah,
this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I mean I've been through, financial situations, and
Hmm.
so I don't want anybody to ever who's watching me think that that's all it's about. I am particularly judging these specific set of individuals because this is in my opinion fraud and schemes.
Well, you know what's interesting is I remember when I was working at a salon, and I used to these women. We worked in a particularly affluent area, and I just remember being like, "Oh my God, they're all so rich." And I had a girl, and it's funny because somebody brought up growing up in a tumultuous household, and you don't know a lot about finances. There are so many things that I have now that make me feel rich as fuck. For example, an ice maker in my fridge. Girl, you
Right.
can't tell me nothing. Can't tell
Right.
me
I know.
nothing.
My fridge gives me water and I love it. Like
Yeah, I
what?
know. We have a deck that I drank coffee on this morning. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
You might as well put me on a bags of cash, girl.
I'm
The
telling you.
Right, the fact that I'm not putting blankets over my doorway and then running an air conditioner in only one of those rooms. But anyways, I remember telling this girl about all these rich people, and I'm like, "How do they make their money? Where do they?" And she goes, "A lot of it, none of it is they lease their cars, they rent their houses.
Yep.
It's all to look a certain way, but they may not have money in the bank." And that moment changed how I saw rich people forever.
Yeah. I used to do financial transactions for rich people, um, outwardly affluent people. And it was eye opening to see the struggles that these people would have. It was, we rarely did, and we did multi-million dollar transactions on the daily. It was not surprising.
Mhm.
I remember seeing a contract come over once, and it was for 400,000, and I said, "Oh, I hope this realtor isn't struggling getting listings." Like, I thought that was such a low amount to have a listing for, um, because it was just in my mindset, everything was over millions.
Yeah.
And I can remember exactly one transaction that was all cash. Purchaser paid cash and the seller had no mortgage. And that was out of thousands of transactions I did in that period. And it was a very affluent area. So
Mm.
anyway, yeah, you don't know what's going on
Some of the
behind
richest
those
people
things.
that I know for a fact, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanna be. I wanna be Costco head to toe, down to my underwear, my socks, and then just millions in the bank. And
Yep.
everybody could talk their shit. I'll wear my sweatpants and my t-shirts every day, but just know I'm coming home and my mattresses are filled with money, bitch.
We on that note, back in the 90s, we used to have this guy who would come in the dirtiest overalls, and you just like scruffiest hair, and he came out, you
Yeah,
just wouldn't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
I
great.
don't we do our best to make good financial decisions. And then, it's nice to have those little things that you can appreciate, like an ice maker in the refrigerator, or, like when our kids
Mhm.
left for college, like my biggest, oh, I don't have to worry about all this stuff anymore, food and taking care of them money wise. Um, I bought a Dyson vacuum. Like,
Hell yeah. The
right?
cordless?
Yes.
Fuck a cord.
And
Fuck
so
them.
I will never again, never
No.
again.
Ew. Who has cords?
Like
Peasants?
a month ago, that thing almost died, and my husband spent hours bringing it back to life because he's very frugal, and he did. But it was like, oh, I might have to buy another one now. But it was a nice feeling to think, okay, I can just replace it.
Yeah.
Never would have thought
Dude,
that.
I went to my sister's for Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law, and I was helping her clean up and she had a cordless vacuum and I'm like, "Bro, I fucking need one of these." And my husband's like, "We have a perfectly good vacuum at home." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, whatever." So for Christmas, my father-in-law was like, "I know that you shouldn't get cleaning products for Christmas." He's like, "But," and he got me a Dyson vacuum and I'm like, "This is the greatest." The first time my husband used it, I go, "How is it?" He's like, "Fuck, God, never use a cord again."
Swear. Yeah, that's usually how it goes too.
Right.
There'll be hills I'll die on, and then my husband's like, "Yeah, okay, fine, it's good. You're right."
Do we know anything about Ron and Jan's upbringing? Like, were they wealthy growing up?
um, well, so it's really hard to gauge that, only because they truly grew up in a different generation and timeline, where, like, my grandmother grew up in, the like Depression era, right? And I think
Okay.
they had just, when they were born, they had just come out of that, and economically, so a lot of people, not a lot of people were going crazy with, their finances yet. um I think Jan's parents accumulated wealth over time in a very, what I believe to be, because I don't have any actual data other than the probate stuff, but what I believe to be a steady, evolution of wealth. um
Mhm.
and so I don't know, I really don't know much about Ron's parents. Mm, I'm sure, somebody does, but I have not looked into them too hard. So I
I
don't
just
know much
wonder how
about
you
them.
get to this point.
Yeah.
Also, how do you learn about these things? Like, how do you learn how to I don't like this is all shit that I had no idea even existed that you could do.
Yeah, it makes me super mad because I really believe that, like when I was, I'm 51. I'll be 52 this year. And when I was in high
What?
school, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
When I was in high school, my neck shows it. Um I learned how to sew a pair of shorts. I will never forget these ugly ass shorts that were like this cotton that I liked, but they were the ugliest pair of shorts ever. And I worked so hard because I'm just not coordinated like that with sewing. And I like, it was a task. But did I come out of any educational standpoint, learning how to balance my checkbook, file taxes, what credit really was? Thank you. Um, like, no, I didn't learn anything that I needed in life immediately. Like, kids should know about how to properly use credit, because you do
Oh
have
my
to
God.
properly use credit, right?
I have my 18-year-old now sister living in my house, and we are going over
Yes.
everything
Yeah.
because, and I'm like, she's like, oh my God, stop. And I'm like, no, nobody fucking taught me this shit. So
Yep.
I'm going to teach it to you.
It
Yeah. I
really
didn't
does
mean
come down
damn
to
like
us.
she's 51. I meant damn like she looks young.
Thank you. Like our library has some programs, and I think people, I know I shout about library a lot, but I really do think that there are some resources in the community that can be utilized for programs that don't exist in the school system. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that not not knowing how to handle stuff is amazing. Like, I mean, in my house, my mom didn't teach me how to do that stuff. I
No.
learned it because I grew up a little faster than others. I had a child young, but like still I bumped along the way, and
Yeah.
it could have been easier if I would have had some skills that I needed
Well, and
younger.
that's the thing, right? With my sisters, like, I'm just like, I don't want you to have to go through what I had to go through to learn my lessons.
Right. Or if something does happen that you just cannot control, don't let it wreck your and sideways your whole life. Like,
Right.
don't, these people have done some very risky things to avoid getting to these points. And that's not okay either. Right. Like and I say risky, I mean loans and lawsuits, basically,
Mhm.
to avoid financial ruin. And that's never going to work. That's not a proper way to do it. Um, yeah, and that's another thing. So Negla says, kids weren't supposed to know how to pay bills. And that's another thing. You didn't talk about money either. Like just a few decades ago in my
Mm.
growing up, you didn't talk about money. You didn't ask how much your parents made. We talked to our kids about how much we made and how we budgeted our bills so that they knew. And I mean, with my daughter, it really stuck. My son's a little more of a loose cannon, but he's
That's
still
my
very responsible, so I shouldn't say that. He's financially very responsible.
Oh my God. My
It's
husband is
wild.
so responsible, but the difference between him and I is
Same.
he will immediately, like, especially if something gets ruined, and I'm like, bro, why did we have children? Because everything is fucking ruined in this house. But he'll be like, that's an X amount of dollar. And I'm like, they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care how much it costs. But also, like, if he's talking to you about something, it does not come up like to tell you how much we
Yeah.
spent on it or like what he makes or
Mhm,
whatever. And I am so private with that. I'm like, you don't ever tell anybody what we have in the bank.
mhm.
For two reasons. Number one, I don't want you to think that we have enough that you can get some. And number
Right.
two, I don't want you to think that we don't have enough because you need more. That it doesn't bear on who I am as a person, it's none of your fucking business what's in my bank account.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's excellent point too. Like for really. I know my daughter knows how to write a check. And so does my son. My daughter is actually a bookkeeper. So yeah. Um but and my son's a business owner. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. And retirement accounts. Yes. Retirement accounts. Get
Yeah,
them
we have that too
early.
set up and it's great. And then we have two things. So we have a college fund for my daughter, and then we have a separate fund for my son that can be turned into a college fund, or it
Yep.
can go into one of those trusts that if something happens to us
Yep.
or whatever, even as he gets older, all the money has to be allocated a certain way because he is autistic.
Yep.
So that way nobody can ever take advantage of him, because I'll haunt somebody.
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
an excellent plan. That program, I know what program you're talking about. It's an excellent program.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks though is we have needs for therapies and stuff, but because we have money in his name or money in our name, I think in the state that I'm in, it was me and my husband have to make a combined total of $45,000 a year in order to get state funded services for my son, which irritates the shit out of me because you expect him to be a productive member of society when he turns 18, yet you're doing nothing to help him get there. And
Right.
the thing is, insurance doesn't always cover therapies, and therapies for someone like my son who needs speech and occupational therapy, it's about $150 an hour.
Yeah. I believe
It's
that.
don't even get me fucking started.
No. No, yeah, no, that's incredible. And like really $45,000 is just not livable, but okay.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Between my husband and I and two kids, it's it's impossible.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so let's back to the
Yep.
subject at hand. Okay, so they went from chapter 13 to chapter 11. And now that we understand, or do you want to still go through them? Because I think you were at the timeline.
I think I got to on 11, I got to the debts are restructured and the business survives. Yeah, I think I got to.
Okay, so
Yeah.
why would someone choose to file for 13 and then go for 11?
I honestly think they should have filed for 11 to begin with. I think they might have just barely been at the threshold of the debt limit.
Mhm.
So they could have just got in right underneath. But 13 was not an option for them again. I will say they think, and we'll find out in the hearing that's incorrectly, but they think that Chapter 11 gives them some extra protections that it is not the case. So, yeah, I think they should have probably tried with 11 to begin with. Regardless
Okay.
of what they file, it's not going to be successful.
Did they have a lawyer for 13?
They did. They had an attorney for 13. We'll hear about that in the meeting or in
Okay,
the
because I
hearing.
was
But
wondering
yeah.
why a bankruptcy attorney would advise them to do 13 first.
So again,
Or
I
do
think
you
they were
think that
just
was
like,
just a stall tactic?
yeah, well, I don't think an attorney would participate so much in that. Most attorneys are, not in that game. But I don't think that this attorney was, and no knock against him, because attorneys, like, everybody has a role, right? But I don't know that the complexity of their case was something he was prepared for. And the
Okay.
complexity, I mean, like the intertwining of finances between businesses and children and all of this stuff. And so by the way, the question is, BigTiff, do you know who the lawyer Jen is talking about in chapter 13? Yeah, I know. I know. I can't remember his name. I think it's Ashley, but she did. They had an attorney. I think that he was probably one of these attorneys who just like files bankruptcies all day, does the kind of standard stuff. And obviously the Owens aren't standard people. So they right out the gate, there should have been red flags for him, but I mean, money's money, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, they did have an attorney, and I think he did his best with what he had.
Yeah.
They have to provide the information, and I think he did his best with what he was given.
Dude, that's what I don't understand about any of these people. Ron, Jan or Laura. They bring stuff to the courts. That is their burden to prove. Okay.
Yep.
They decide that they're going to be the prosecution because I really only know criminal crime. Okay. Criminal crime, criminal
Criminal
trials,
crime.
criminal crime. My
That's
favorite.
that Lego video with that Ben guy. He keeps saying criminal crime, and I'm like, oh my God, stop it! You're making my brain hurt.
But that's the thing. It's their burden to carry. And then they're like, why don't you just go find it? No, fuck you.
Right. No, every time.
That's like me going to the grocery store, packing up a full thing of groceries, getting to the checkout and being like, well, why don't you just pay for it?
Right.
Like, no.
And I can pay you back. You know, you'll have to follow me home, and it's 2.5 hour drive. Like,
Right.
you know,
You can go find this money in a geocache somewhere.
right. They have not, to my knowledge, these are the only 2 cases. The question is, sorry, first of all, hello, tax packet. The question is, do we know if they've ever filed 13 or 11 in the past? And from what I can find on, the online database, no, they haven't filed before. Criminal crime was one of my favorite classes in law school.
All right. So is there anything else that you want to say about this before we move on to the actual hearing?
I will say, I know everybody wants certain questions answered and certain things clarified. And with the Owens, it's very much like a fake twin pregnancy. The timeline's going to shift. The story's going to shift to backdate the story that they have to, when they get caught in a lie, they have to go back and fix something that happened. And that's what we'll see constantly here is I've told something, I've stepped into it. Now I got to backtrack, and it's a different story now that steps into something else, different story now. So a lot of it is we just won't know the answer to. And it's maddening. But at the end of the day, no matter what her narrative is, words will not change the numbers in these filings. And the numbers are what is going to get this case dismissed.
It's all of them are all moving all the time.
Yeah. So the question is, BigTiff, do you know if Sarah has an LLC, or do you think she and her hubby will come in this Chapter 11? I mean, they're on the mortgages. I don't expect this case to last very long. So I think just like the Chapter 13, we probably won't see anything about Sarah and Christian in this case.
Why?
Because if it gets dismissed, their part goes away, right? Because the house will go through foreclosure, and whatever comes out of that will be, for them to deal with later. But I don't know.
And aren't they on it? Aren't they on the house stuff?
Yeah, they're on the mortgages. They're on the house. They're on the mortgages. And I know, stop making sense. We don't logic around here. Negla says. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that the right way. Where is it? Negla. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. It's hard to say what will happen in anything the Owens do, right?
Well, we have 2 days. 2 days until the deadline.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as I know, as of right now, we don't have an attorney who's filed an appearance. So there's that.
Ugh, I can't believe he hasn't gotten out yet or withdrawn yet.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the hearing. I have it pulled up from Schnitzel Ninja, and then we will go over that. Just tell me when you want me to stop, or I'll stop and ask questions, or we can laugh together and hold hands, whatever you want to do.
I know. I apologize because I know, right out the gate in the first, I want to say 3 minutes, there's going to be a part where I want to stop. So there's that.
That's fine. Just I'm trying to see if Mr. Pike will be a producer on here so he can get all the comments up so I can focus on the other stuff. So I don't know if he's here, but all right, let's see. Can you hear it okay?
I can't. I don't know if everybody else can, but I can't.
You don't hear it?
I don't. Does everybody else hear it?
Hold on. Let me see.
Okay.
Audio. Let's see. Maybe from this. No?
Mm-mm.
God bless it. I hate StreamYard.
I know.
All right. Let's see. Hold on. Let's try Roadcaster, which is where I have all my stuff. Hold on. It might be mix minus. I'll put routing, main mix. I just hope you don't hear me. Okay.
Today.
Yep.
Okay.
I heard something. Nope.
No.
Now I don't hear it.
Where's Brad? I'm gonna kill
I
myself.
know, right?
Fuck.
Brad. Brad.
All right. If I go to audio, speaker, then I have this.
I did too, Star. Star said I heard something for a second. Yeah, I did too.
All right. If I add it to stage, it's the window. I don't know what else to do. No, I can hear it. God bless it. All right.
So what if you pop it out? But I know that shouldn't matter. I just had this happen to me and I can't remember why.
All right. So general, here's, I don't need the cameras, the audios, the speakers.
I heard
his message above. Bruce.
Yeah. I heard a notification.
Eat all adverbs. What? Brad's in chat with advice for Bruce. We believe in you, Bacon. Nobody believes in me. Wait, what? Okay. Because it in StreamYard, when you share the window, you have to enable audio with a separate switch. Okay. How does one do that?
Right.
I'm in the audio.
More
All right, let me stop the screen. And then I'll go to share screen. Window. This one. Also share system audio. Bruce. Thanks, guys.
Love it.
Got it. Let's try this again.
Any other appearances?
Yes.
Woohoo.
All right. We just called the Naylor and Owens matter, counsel, if you'd like to make an appearance in that matter. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and proceed. All right, so Ms. Naylor and Mr. Owens, this is your emergency motion to extend the automatic stay in this case. As you are aware from preparing the papers, the automatic stay is will expire shortly unless the court finds that grounds exist to find and conclude that you have.
Now there's an echo because I changed the mix minus.
I thought it was my
You know
echo.
what?
I
It's
kept
all
trying
Greg,
to fix it.
honestly. I think it's just Greg. All right. Hopefully there won't be an echo now.
Met your burden of establishing
Better
evidence and able to enable this case to move forward. I did want to clarify a couple of things for you, Ms. Naylor and Mr. Owens. Just some of the statements you made were U.S. trustee hadn't proven bad faith, but that's not really their burden. It's your burden to prove that this case was filed in good faith, and you have to have clear and convincing evidence. One other thing I also wanted to advise you.
Sorry, you gotta be bigger than
Sorry.
that. I'm doing this and chat.
Also, I'm like, I forgot that I can fix my camera, and I'm not going to do it right now.
No, now I can't hear you.
Oh,
wait,
for real?
I can't hear you now.
Okay.
It's hold on. Wait. Wait, that's me. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Now I can hear you. No, that was me. That was totally my fault. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So I forgot that I can fix my camera so that I'm not backwards, and it always throws me off. So I'll try to be more illustrative, which nobody's ever told me in my life. But anyway, um, so I don't know if everybody caught that, but literally right out of the gate, the judge is, vying for that queen position and saying that, Jan in her filing states, in her reply, I should say, to Jennifer's objection, Jan states that the U.S. Trustee's Office has not proven that this case was filed in bad faith. And right out of the gate, the judge says that's not the U.S. Trustee's burden to prove. It is your burden when you have filed a new case after a case is dismissed, so soon after a case is dismissed. It is your burden to prove that that second filing was done in good faith. It is nobody else's burden to prove that it's a bad faith filing. So
Right.
that is a hurdle. And I think it's a significant hurdle that they will struggle with hard.
Well, and the other thing we went through was I forgot what the papers were that her objection was Jennifer's objection. And I remember you were screaming in the chat because it said just everything was about this being bullshit.
Yeah. Really could have one of her paragraph headlines could have just said bullshit.
This is total fucking bullshit.
And I would have applauded the professionalism, really, honestly, like it is.
This is a waste of my fucking time.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Everybody's time. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to call that top part out. It's one of the most significant statements made in the hearing, is that they have the burden of proof here, and hope they're ready for it.
Mr. Pike, check your Discord DMs. I'm gonna see if you want to be a producer on here, so you can take care of chat and I can focus on Tiff's lovely face. Also, I just love at the top of it, they're like, you have to bring forth clear and convincing evidence.
Yes.
Which would prove to me, like, if somebody said that to me, I would be like, I have what I think is clear and convincing evidence, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing about that shakes them up.
No. Because she thinks her story will solve it all.
Good Lord.
And it won't.
Is that the court's mortgage modification program is not mandatory. It is a program that can be administered through this court. The creditor, however, is not compelled to participate. When they do participate, of course, there's a requirement to appear and to participate in good faith. But the process is that you request to be in the program, and the creditor can ask to be removed from the program. So I did want to clarify for you that is not something that the court can require the creditor on your home to participate.
Once you're in this, can you just dip out? Can you just be like, you know what, just kidding, I don't want to do this anymore?
No, it needs court approval and possibly even creditor approval, but I'm not sure about that. But you need court approval to just dismiss your case. Like, that's the whole point of avoiding people from abusing the system, right? Jumping in and jumping out. Like hot potato, you can't do that. So
picture it, Scottsdale 2025. That's so funny.
I do love that argument. We'll get to it when it happens. But yeah, so the other significant thing that the judge brought up here was that the mortgage modification program, which Jen is relying heavily on, or Ron and Jen are relying heavily on in their argument, they believe that it is their statutory right to be in that program. And right out the gate, after the judge says you have the burden of proof, she says, that's not a guarantee. Nice try, though.
Okay. I just don't understand with somebody who does something like this and who gets themselves so deep, why you would ever want to open your accounts and then not have the chance to be like, takesies backsies. Like, just kidding.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
I mean, there's a level of I don't even know what the word is, but there's just like a level of cockiness, I guess, that like, oh, they're just not gonna find it, or they're not gonna look into it that far, or whatever.
Yeah, you know, you just trust me, bro. I'm pregnant with twins, kind of thing. Or I have evidence that you're asking for. I just don't have access to it.
Yeah, but that's civil court. Like, I can imagine fucking around in civil court. This is
Right.
federal. This is
Right.
very different.
Oh, it's 100 times worse for them, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times worse for them in this setting. And I can't wait to watch it blow up in their faces.
Oh my God.
Okay. Did you have a question about that?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is your emergency motion to extend the automatic stay. The primary thing that
Are we hearing Madeline or are we hearing Jennifer?
I think this is the judge.
Okay.
the court is looking at is what has changed between when you filed, when your first case was dismissed and the filing of your new case. That's really all I'm concerned with. What is your change of circumstances, and what can you tell me to show that this case can move forward successfully? So you've told me a lot of information about your dealings with the creditor, about your, you've indicated that your income is steady, but I can't tell that that has been a change from your prior case and when it was dismissed. So why don't you focus on that information?
Well, the prior 13 was dismissed, not because we abandoned it, but because our attorney didn't act when I asked him to in writing.
Well, let me just stop and interrupt you there, because
Let me also stop. So we're just also doing a David Gingras and throwing their attorney under the bus.
Yeah, I love, just like, Miss Giammo, when Laura says David, and Miss Giammo says nope, we're not doing that. The judge does the same exact thing here. Federal court does not fuck around, right? Like, you're gonna learn that. You've got to cite laws. You've got to cite your case properly. You can't tell a sob story. It's not going to fly.
Well,
they have heard it all.
It was said in the dismissal papers that it was specifically dismissed because they did not bring forth, what was it, tax documents from certain years and fucking bank statements.
Yeah, well, and they didn't pay their payments. And the judge calls that out. Judge or Giammo, one of the two, call that out. Like, it's not their attorney's fault. I mean, that's just laughable, but whatever.
Unbelievable.
He only had the information they gave him. Sorry. He only, again, went by the information they gave him. So, right. Good point. Blame game, yeah.
I'm irritated already. We're 3 minutes in.
Review the papers filed in the prior case, and the reason your case was dismissed is because you did not turn over to the trustee tax returns, and because your plan payments were delinquent. And I believe, and also you had outstanding objections to confirmation that were unresolved. So whatever may have happened with your attorney, that, I don't know what happened there, but filing your taxes and turning over your returns and paying your plan payments are all within your control.
Correct. And as far as the tax filing is concerned, we have had major health issues with my husband I'm his primary caretaker. And I had not filed the taxes because I knew we didn't owe anything at that point, and I had other issues that I was taking care of. And then when we filed for bankruptcy and I wanted to get the tax.
Nobody fucking cares why you didn't pay your tax, why you didn't file your taxes. Nobody cares. Especially when you have big money. You don't have an accountant.
And just do it. Like, again, nobody cares why. Just do it. The why doesn't matter now. It literally doesn't.
Right. I don't And that's the thing. I could never imagine looking at a judge and being like, well, I didn't file my taxes because
The
I had other
why,
stuff to do.
right. The why may have mattered if this were an appeal case to their 13 being dismissed, right? The why might matter then, but the why doesn't matter now. It's a whole new case. Ugh.
Taxes filed, I was unaware that when you file for bankruptcy, the credit card companies make it so that you no longer have access online to the prior credit card information.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that too, number one. Because like besides the fact that the statement in itself is ridiculous, I find it hard to believe that their attorney didn't tell them that. I'm sure that they were given a packet of information of what happens, and what to expect. I'm sure of that. And if they would have said in their introductory meeting to the attorney that they have not filed their business taxes yet or taxes, and that they needed statements from their credit cards, the attorney would have said, you better get that shit now because you're going to be locked out soon. If you haven't already gotten it, it's absurd to me that you wouldn't have that information available to you already. That just tells me you're not doing your books at all as a business. You're not doing any books if you don't have the statements you need to deduct your expenses out of your LLCs. My opinion.
I don't again, I mean, I'm going to keep repeating myself. I don't understand how you bring something like this forward, knowing that they're going to ask you these questions, knowing that they're going to ask you for whatever proof it is, and you're just going to be like, whoops.
Yeah.
Which tells me it's specifically so that they don't have to get out of the house.
Yeah, they're just delaying.
In my opinion, yeah.
Delaying.
Great.
So I didn't.
Why is the credit card information something you're telling me about?
For the purposes of deductions and expenses, I had relied on those being available online. So we have since filed the returns for 23 and 24 that were asked for, and so those have been taken care of. As far as the plan payment is concerned, we had some major unexpected expenses that could not be put off. We had major storm damage and cleanup that had been required, and we had septic tank issues, and we had car repair issues.
I want to point out the absurdity of an argument that you can totally afford this payment, except for when an emergency happens, right? Oh, you're muted. Are you muted? I can't hear you.
I am, because I was sneezing. No, it gives that same video that I had of that and then our father moved to LA, and then we burned the meatballs, and then it just keeps going. Like, why? I gotta rewind it a little bit because I know I didn't even get through it, but like it was, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this.
It's all the things. It's all of them.
It's everything.
Every
single thing.
3 and 24 that were asked for, and so those have been taken care of. As far as the plan payment is concerned, we had some major unexpected expenses that could not be put off. We had major storm damage and cleanup that had been required, and we had septic tank issues, and we had car repair issues, and the money had to go into.
And then the shitter was out.
And our daughter was fighting with an ex in San Francisco, and and there was a horse competition involved, and
then our daughter was pregnant, but she had 38 abortions. I don't know, and then she was streamed on the dark web. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Into those things.
I really do wish when she said the septic tank was out, she's like, we had a situation. That would have been great. I couldn't come. I had a situation.
From an emergency crisis standpoint. Going forward.
I have to tell you, I have gone through some major fucking shit in my life with my kids, with my just life. I have never referred to any of it as a crisis. And like when I think about her being like, my septic tank went out, it's a crisis. Like, dude.
I almost died twice and I don't call it a crisis. Like, it's just.
Yeah. Tiff's like, you know what the crisis is? Me being alive. That's a fucking crisis.
Code blue.
Code blue. God damn it, I'm still here. Fuck. That's the crisis.
It's a crisis. It's always a crisis.
Would anticipate that the amount of income that we have that is guaranteed, the $21,000 a month income that is guaranteed under our Social Security and pension benefits, would be enough to get us, to give us the restart that we need here. And also, as far as the payments are concerned,
yes,
the absolute shift in, like, okay, I know we can't logic, but for real, she just went through 3 reasons why they couldn't make 3 months worth of mortgage payments.
I'm
bankruptcy
sorry.
plan payments.
I'm trying to keep a hold of chat. That was only 3 reasons because I got like 64 reasons in
Could be.
there.
It could be. But like, and then immediately says, but we have verified income and we could totally afford this restructure plan. But bitch, you just said that 3 things took you off kilter. What are you talking about?
Right. Also,
Now,
she just said that they had a fixed income from 21,000, but in the dismissal, there's a change in income between the chapter 13 and the chapter 11 that they never explain.
yeah, they don't explain it.
And they say their income now is like $400.
I made a spreadsheet and none of it adds up. It literally had to have all these if and statements because it just didn't add up. I do like that statement about what Zoe said about everything is a crisis, because I do agree that laundry is a crisis and taking out the trash is a crisis.
God.
Spare fingers.
Me being in a public place and shitting my pants, that's a crisis. Like my septic tank going out because I own a home is like, you know what I mean?
It's
I've
an
never been
expected
like,
expense. Yeah, it
right.
sucks. But like, it's an expense. It's not a crisis.
What would you consider a crisis? It's like something active.
I don't even know.
I think me shitting my pants in front of a group of people is a crisis.
That's a crisis. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree with that being a crisis because, right? Crisis doesn't have to mean life altering, track altering kind of thing. Crisis can just mean this is really fucked up in this moment.
Right, but you're in crisis.
Yes, you're in it. Yes.
You just.
I think that's Jen's like status quo is crisis.
Oh, God. I love this for us.
In dealing with SPS, they would send me information that indicated that the entire amount of arrears had to be paid at a time, that it wasn't like you can just make a 1 monthly payment.
Wrong.
The whole.
Explain yourself.
She's wrong here. She's wrong. Sorry, not the comment. Like,
no, yeah.
Anyway.
I'm doing it right now. Actually.
Like, she's saying that she's like, okay, during the chapter 13, you literally have protection against what she is saying the lender said to her. You're saying the lender said you have to pay it all, but we know that's not true because the court said you only have to pay $15,560 or whatever it was. So I can't argue with Jan because she's so stupid, but like, wrong is all I have to say. Wrong. Microburst only in their yard.
You know, somebody said, who was it? It's just a sad time. It's not a crisis. It's just sad that you shit in front of folks. Listen, have you ever been 8 o'clock in the morning? Okay, you're stuck in traffic. You got a Starbucks. You're on an empty stomach. All of a sudden, you start fucking sweating. You got the air on full blast, and it's coming. You're heat waving, and then you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. So you have to pull over to a gas station and fucking pray that they have a key. That's all I'm saying. I know everybody. There are 377 people in this chat, and I know you all know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a crisis.
Thing needed to be paid. So it seemed like until we could actually talk to SPS and get things clarified with SPS, it didn't seem.
What is SPS?
That's the servicer for their mortgage. So the mortgage company is US Bank and the servicer is SPS, Specialized Select Portfolio Services. Sorry.
Okay.
Also known as SPS.
Seemed to make sense to, to throw money there when they would have the home in foreclosure anyhow.
So let me go back to my question for you, which is,
Wait.
What has changed?
Back up. I just
it.
caught this actually. So first she said that SPS wouldn't take any payments unless it was all of it. And then she said, and it didn't make sense to make payments when it was going to go to foreclosure anyway. But if you paid all the back pay, then it couldn't go to foreclosure, Jan.
Right.
Like, that didn't even make sense.
Right, because you would have had paid your bills.
Yeah. So, wrong again. I need a wrong button.
You need a buzzer.
That it wasn't like you can just make a one monthly payment, that the whole thing needed to be paid. So it seemed like until we could actually talk to SPS and get things clarified with SPS, it didn't seem to make sense to, to throw money there when they would have the home in foreclosure anyhow.
So let me go back to my question for you, which is, what has changed in your personal and financial situation since the dismissal of the first case and the filing of the second case? Because the guaranteed income you just mentioned, the $21,000, that was in fact part of the first case. So that's not a change. So what has changed?
Correct. So we also had some expenses with two of the LLCs that we have that.
Which are Lizmax and Quartet Farms.
Yeah, I love that she just read it herself out here.
Also, circling back to the judge's original question and the lengthy word salad, I've been rewatching the Alex Murdaugh case with Emily D. Baker. And, I could never be a defense attorney, but it is their job to just completely confuse the jury. Jan would be great. She would be wonderful because I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about right now.
Yes. Mr. Calling.
She could have so much money. Anyways, what do you mean she ratted herself out?
Oh, she's about to rat herself out, I should say. If you go back
yeah.
like a couple seconds when we hear this next part,
Let's party.
She's gonna rat herself out, and it's fucking beautiful.
Throw money there? You mean paying your bills?
Paying the debts you owe to the creditors in this case. Yeah, right. Throwing money.
Are no longer applicable. And so that is a big burden that is off the table.
Could you be more specific?
We had one LLC that had that was an investment in a short-term rental that we had to forfeit. That had we had expenses, major expenses with that, and we had bookings that were down from that. We also had.
So wait a minute before you move on. I guess I don't understand. Your papers didn't.
None of us do. None of us understand a goddamn thing. Fuck.
Tell me anything about whatever it is you were just mentioning. Bookings with rental property.
Lizmax Investments. I believe it was listed as zero value in that.
Well, I mean, your motion to extend the stay didn't describe a change of circumstances involving what you've just mentioned. So are you saying that you had some real property that you have surrendered in the interim period? Yes.
So it was an investment that was costing us money, and as I say, it's listed as Lizmax Investments on there.
Okay, so one of the struggles that I'm having in preparing for this hearing, and let me roll back for a moment and just say that the papers you filed are not acceptable in terms of being too lengthy. You cannot file 29-page responses. We have
She hasn't answered a goddamn thing in 9 minutes.
Nope, not at all.
rules about how long papers can be. In some courts, the court will literally take the filing you have filed, find the page limit, rip it off and throw it away. I did not do that. I read your papers, but in the future, I'm not going to. So your motion and your reply were both too lengthy. But the problem is, I don't have schedules and statements in this case. You've received an extension of time to file those, which was good. I'm glad that you got court authorization to file those papers later. The problem is that they're due at a date that beyond this hearing. So as I'm preparing for your hearing today and reviewing your papers, I still don't have the schedules and statements that you need to prepare under penalty of perjury, so that I can really understand the changes. So for example, you just talked about surrendering a parcel of real property. That was not disclosed anywhere in the papers that I've reviewed today. So I'm a little bit struggling to fully understand your situation. Let me move on and ask you, what other changes have you occurred? So you've surrendered a parcel of real property. What else has occurred?
Before she answers this by saying nothing, how was the rental property costing them money if they weren't paying for the mortgage?
Great question. Excellent question. Doesn't make sense. Can't logic inside that dumb brain.
Got it. There will be no logic here.
Nope. Sorry.
We had some ponies that were part of our LLC, our Quartet Farms LLC, which we no longer have, and which were costing quite a bit of money monthly on board in Florida. And we no longer have those.
So what is that? You said that property, was it personal property? Was it real?
Do we know when the Airbnb was surrendered?
In December of 2025. So like actively during their Chapter 13 case, not before or after.
Oh God. All right.
Property?
It's not a property that we own. I'm saying that they were boarded in Florida.
What was boarded?
The ponies.
You had ponies boarded in Florida and you no longer.
Where did the fucking ponies come from?
Right.
We were just on our shitter blowing up and our car fucking was in a lake. Where are the ponies?
Right. And how are those ponies costing you more money than 7 retired ones that you supposedly take care of that are allegedly costing you $100 a month to maintain? Like,
and how are they $100 a month when Laura, didn't she value them for like less than that?
Yeah. It's insane.
All right, I'm making the shirt. There will be no logic here.
No, it just, and that thought hurts my head, but you cannot, it's something I have to come to terms with, is that you cannot make it make sense. It will not make sense.
I just don't understand. We went from a rental property. She just skipped a whole fucking chapter and was like, but the ponies.
And let's be clear here. Timmy the dog says the ponies are assets in the LLC only as of last year or the year before. I can't remember now, when Laura transferred all the ponies out of her personal name into Quartet. If Jen's here, she'll know for sure. I can't believe the years are running together. Oh yeah, they did have a property manager. Good point, Bruce. Bruce says, didn't they have an Airbnb property manager? I would imagine they paid them, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Right. They should have been included as a creditor.
Ponies sound less valuable.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. See, I say just Jen, and just like Brad, and just like Bruce, she appears. Oh, my husband's calling me.
Boo, boo that man.
I know, right? Hold on, dude. So yeah, it was 2024 where she transferred him into the LLC. All right, I'm gonna take.
You want to take the phone call, or you?
Sorry, yeah, real quick.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'll stay in the chat. I'll wait for you.
Okay.
None of these expenses were reported. let's see. It barely even has forks. Both her and Jan downplay their assets. Ponies use clothes, old worn tack gear. This is all, yeah. It's so interesting how she does this and still just like says nothing at all. Absolutely. Yeah. No justice. There will be no justice for these men.
Right. No.
Ugh.
He wants me to remind him about something. Good luck.
Ponies?
One of them was sold and one of them is leased out for the year.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
All right. I'm not going to be able.
Who was leasing the pony? Was somebody leasing it from you, or were you leasing the pony from somebody else? Because that's two questions. If somebody's leasing it from you, then you're making money. If you're leasing it out, then it would be an expense. Or if you're leasing it from someone.
Yeah, I mean, to our knowledge, it's a horse that they own, that they're leasing out. But yeah.
I am exhausted.
To consider your emergency motion today until I receive your schedules and statements with full disclosures about what has happened in this case. I think what I will do is I'll hear briefly from Ms. Giamo, and then I'm inclined to give you a short continuance until after the schedules and statements have been prepared and filed so that I can review in writing your situation and I can have a better understanding as to what has changed between the dismissal of the prior case and the filing of this case. But let me ask you this question. Your papers indicated you were looking for counsel. Your case was filed nearly a month ago on May 22nd. So where are you with respect to obtaining counsel?
I have spoken with 21 different bankruptcy firms and attorneys. A lot of them are busy and unable to take the case. I have found
21.
Yeah. How?
21.
How? A lot of them are busy. Yeah, that's what I would tell you too. I would tell you if you gave me half of your story when you called, and I'm sure these calls are getting screened, but I would say no, like it's going to cost you too much or we don't have time.
Or you don't have the right paperwork or anything that you need to file this case.
It's impossible to me that they have consulted with 21 attorneys, but again, logic.
One who is willing to take the case. However, because we ended up having to file pro se at the last minute, my understanding is that the post petition, that the retainer fee post petition has to be paid by a third party. So we are in the process of finding a third party to fund the retainer. And then
what does that mean?
I'm not laughing at what she said because I don't fucking follow what she's saying. I mean, I guess I do a little bit, but I am laughing at this comment. 20 out of 21 different attorneys know how to use Google.
I just don't. I'm so confused. Okay, so if you get a bankruptcy attorney, I'm filing for bankruptcy. Yeah. I have to get an attorney. Somebody else pays them?
I haven't even bothered to follow up with researching this part, but I believe maybe part of what she's saying is true because they filed their case and then decided to bring in counsel. So I think she's saying that the way she understands it, and the judge doesn't correct her, but I don't know that the judge has to, that if that happens, then you can no longer personally pay for the attorney. Somebody else has to pay for the attorney. That seems odd to me because like our whole legal system is built around you having the right to an attorney, not necessarily appointed, but you have the right to have an attorney, pay for an attorney to defend you. And and represent you in a case. So, I don't know. I think it could be maybe true, but none of the research Jan's done in these cases has turned out to be accurate. So maybe it's not. I don't know.
I feel like we're just out here saying shit.
Well, and it goes to your point of saying that, you know, the point is to distract and confuse, right? And I think that's part of just, it's a yes or no question, ma'am. Right? But here's the narrative, just in case you want it.
What is a yes or no question anymore? I don't even know. I'm 6
Right.
months into this stupid case, and I don't know what yes or no means anymore.
Yeah, so, but here's the part I don't get about this. So the comment is because the lawyer wouldn't be able to collect money directly from the Owens since their money would be tied up in the BK. But post-petition, it's not. And especially in a Chapter 11, like the debtor it's called debtor in possession because you're in control still of what's going on. You're allowed to spend money. So I'm lost as to whether or not that's an accurate thing.
Yeah. Well, even if he recklessly spent for decades before $21,000 a month, they should be able to live perfectly fine.
Honestly and truly, Scottsdale should have been their fresh start. It really should have and could have been their fresh start had they not immediately started pulling equity out of that house.
I am always confused. I'll tell you, I have ADHD so bad and I can't follow any of this. Usually, if you give me like a whole bunch of points, I can start to put them together. But this is like taking 8 different puzzles and just throwing a bunch of pieces at me, but none of them are from the same puzzle.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense ever.
No.
The attorney has told me he would be happy to step in at that point, but that it has to be funded by a third party.
What is the name of the attorney you intend to hire?
Garaman Yusufov.
Is he real? Okay.
Yeah, he's real.
Okay. And when do you anticipate hiring Mr. Yusufov?
Just as soon as I can find the third party money.
Javid Dingris. Who's the attorney you plan on hiring? Javid Dingris.
Chad GPT.
Chad. Klaus.
So you don't have that lined up yet?
I am, it was not something I was anticipating having to do. So I'm reaching out to friends and hopefully we'll have something set this weekend so that he could come on board early next week.
Why do you need friends for that? Hire.
This is where I think she's saying that somebody else has to pay for the attorney, which again, I'm just not. I should have dug into it, but it's just one of those things where I was like, I don't even want to. There's some things that come out of their mouths that it's not even worth looking into, right? Like if it's true, fine. If it's not, whatever. I don't care because it doesn't change the situation she's in and how she got there. Right.
I just don't know how you keep going. Not one of them has any shame. Oh, Jupiter, thank you. Thank you for that Super 5. I just don't understand. There's just no embarrassment anywhere, ever.
None, zero.
And I know the amended schedules are due on the 26th and that the 341 meeting is on the 30th.
And so do you intend to retain Mr. Yusufov to complete your schedules due on the 26th?
I would like to. If that timing doesn't work out, then I'm
Yes or no, ma'am?
committed to this. We are committed to this.
Well, you don't have a fucking choice now. It's like getting on the roller coaster. You can't be up at the top of the fucking loop and be like, you know what? I don't want to anymore. That's it. You're buckled.
All right. As I indicated, I'm inclined to give a short continuance of this matter and impose a temporary stay under Section 105 because the 30-day period of your bank from the filing of your case is looming, which means that the automatic stay under 362 is about to expire. And I will say that on this record, I do not have clear and convincing evidence that there has been a change of circumstances. But let me turn to Ms. Giamo and hear from her briefly, Ms. Giamo, since you know pretty much what I'm going to do here. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, thank you. Well, the first thing I want to point out is that, Your Honor said that you don't have the schedules and statements, but we do. We actually do have schedules and statements that were filed at docket 9 in the case. And that's a large part of the U.S. trustee's objection is the fact that there's huge misrepresentations in there. This was not.
And you were correct. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt and just say there are scheduled statements. They are in the debtor's term skeletal, which is essentially non-existent. So, and my apologies, but for the record, I will concede something was filed.
Thank you. And actually, I would definitely disagree with their claim that this was a skeletal petition. As Your Honor knows, many debtors file a petition, but they don't file schedules and statements, and they end up asking for an extension of time to file them. That's not what happened here. Mr. and Mrs. Owens, what they chose to do was file schedules and statements that were false. And that's just another indicator of their bad faith. And that they would choose to file schedules and statements knowing that they were signing them under penalty of perjury and knowing that they contained false statements. They should not have filed anything. Or if at the very least, they could have left everything blank, but they didn't. So I just want to point out that that's a very key thing. And the other thing is, Your Honor, my understanding is that the court's decision has to be made before the 22nd. Or once the stay terminates, that's it. So I don't know when Your Honor wants to reset this hearing for, but I would argue that you have sufficient grounds before you right now to deny this motion because, as Your Honor pointed out, there is no clear and convincing evidence. There's no evidence at all in this
Hell
case
yeah.
that there's been.
I ain't seen shit.
A change of circumstances. There were no change of circumstances that were listed in the motion, and there were none that were listed in the reply after I specifically pointed out in our objection that they needed to show that. There is no change in circumstance. And they will not be able to show that unless there's going to be more misrepresentation and there's going to be more inconsistencies between the various sworn statements they make. And I just don't think that these debtors should have another opportunity to make more false representations under oath to this court. I think the time is now to say what I have on the record is sufficient to show that the case was filed in bad faith. First, because there's a presumption of bad faith, because there's no change in circumstance. And second, because of all the reasons the U.S. trustee outlined in her objection, which is that there's a lot of evidence here of misrepresentations, egregious conduct. I want to address one minor last thing. Well, it's not minor. In their reply to the state's trustee's objection, the debtors claimed that they never received notice of the initial debtor interview. And I'm going to take issue with that. And I'm going to say to Your Honor that we have a paralegal who mailed the notice of the initial debtor interview to the address listed on the docket sheet. That paralegal would be prepared to come in and testify under oath that he mailed out that notice. I find it extremely odd that Mr. and Mrs. Owens claim they did not receive that notice, but yet they were able to receive my objection to their stay extension, which was also sent by first class mail. There was no email address on the record. So as Your Honor knows, we were required to serve these pro se debtors by first class mail. That was the only method that we were allowed to send them service of the notice of the IDI, the initial debtor interview. And they completely ignored it. They didn't show up. That messes up the schedules of people in my office. And I think that by allowing this case to continue and giving these debtors an opportunity, even a short one, to try to file new schedules that might have, again, more misrepresentations, all we're doing is postponing the inevitable and allowing these debtors to continue abusing the system. And that's what this is.
God damn, she didn't even come up for air. Holy shit.
I'm telling you what, and calling them out for abusing the system is exactly what needs to happen. It's evident. It's not just words. She's backing it up by what she's stating prior to. It's absolute fire. I can't say that enough. It feels like a non-moment because she doesn't make it big and dramatic, but it really is. It's the one of the key moments in this whole hearing. I want to answer this question real quick. Hello 456 says, I'm behind, but would love your opinions on Jan stating that they're guaranteed 21K being sufficient for this restart. And then it's question restart. Yeah, because that's what Jan thinks is going to happen here. She's sorely mistaken, but she thinks that she's going to be able to like start fresh. And that's not what this filing is for. It's for reorganization. She's going to have to pay the piper, so to speak, on the mortgage debt, especially. She's not going to get a free pass on the delinquency. So restart, I think, is, wish Jack we're still in here, a good distinction that tells you what Jan thinks this is about. She wants the lender to forgive some of their debt, and it's not going to happen.
You know, it's so interesting to me. And the thing with Jennifer is I feel like at this point, because she's been through it with, I would love, maybe I'll send her an email. I would love to talk to her because I feel like the way that she speaks with passion and conviction in this moment, now it's personal. Now it's like, not only are you wasting my time, you're wasting my office's time, you're wasting my coworkers' time, you're wasting the court's time. We all know you're lying. You're calling us dumb, essentially, and it's enough. It's enough.
And I think it's even okay to call it a professional offense, because I think she takes her job very seriously, and you can tell that. And I think that she respects the people that she works with, and you can see that and hear that in her voice. And it's insane to believe that the one document, they didn't get is the document that that she needed them to attend and provide documentation. It's your identification. It's like, it's proving you are the person that filed this case. It's a very critical point in the case that has to happen. And it usually happens upon filing because you have an attorney representing you and they file the right things. But when you don't, you have to do this identification thing. And this didn't show up.
Yeah. I think the reason, in my personal opinion, that they want to keep the house so bad is for optics.
I think optics is the majority of it, to be honest, which is just, again, there is no amount of words that are going to change the numbers, and the numbers are what proves they cannot afford this house.
Right. And I get it. I'm sorry, but if you're 3 million plus in debt, 21K a month isn't enough. No, it's not. But also, when you're making, there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to be living a wonderful fucking lifestyle in Scottsdale, Arizona for $21,000 a month, which is so insane to me because, most of us live a just fine life on a lot less, and they could still have that fancy lifestyle that they want for $21,000 a month.
Can you put that comment up from Jupiter James? About the U.S. mail. So she asks, is it normal in the U.S. that the Postal Service sends you pictures of your mail? And she says, I found that wild. Yes, it's called, oh my gosh, and I can't remember the name of it now, but I'm subscribed. I'm signed up for it. So every day I get an email from the post office telling me in the next day or two, here's the mail that's coming your way. And it's just like, it goes through their scanner. All your mail goes through their scanner. So it's just a picture of the mail that's going through their scanner. And it says, it'll tell me whether it's junk mail, regular mail.
Yeah. But the good thing about that is if you're getting like a credit card or if you're getting something of value, where it's been and where it's been stopped so that it's less likely for something like that to be stolen or a package or something like that.
Informed delivery. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
I was trying to put those words together. Yep. Informed delivery. And because I even put a post on my YouTube that people should sign up for it if they can. I will say that there are some things that I have received from the government that don't show up in my informed delivery. And I don't know why that is. So that's interesting to me is all.
Yeah, I don't have it. I know that when my friends were going through a divorce, they both got it to make sure that neither of the other one was like stealing their mail.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And what they were, because they were going through a very contentious divorce. So they were just trying to figure out, you know, if the mail was ending up where it needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good idea. We live on a kind of main road, so we have it just so we know what's coming in.
Hi, Holly. We welcome you. Great first live to catch. This is Big Tiff Dog. She's our financial wizard.
Hello.
Hard to believe the USPS isn't always reliable.
No, right? As for so many years working in my field, I definitely, no offense to anybody who works at the post office, but yeah, there's some challenges there.
But with things like this, and you get whatever, so you get the objection, you get everything that I got from my lawyers. It was in civil court, but everything that I got from my lawyers, not only did I get a physical copy, but I also got an email, and I got that email first.
Yeah.
So how did they miss?
Well, she didn't put her email correctly on her filing. She misspelled her email twice.
On purpose?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Pike. I will hydrate. I need an adult nanny.
I'm telling you. Same. I've said that for 20 years. Oh, sorry.
That's Mr. Pike. He's my manny.
And I appreciate the position of the U.S. trustee, and I certainly have no issue with the mailing of the IDI to the debtors, and I don't understand why they assert they haven't received it, since under the mailbox rule, the presumption is that they did in fact receive that. I do not have sufficient information. I do know the debtor's motion for extension of time to file or amend the schedules did indicate that they understood that they were skeletal. I mean, I do think that there are certain discrepancies that need to be explained if they can be. But on this record today, I'm not prepared to lift the stay, given that this is the debtor's primary residence and time is short, and they filed under, it sounds like, some dire circumstances. So I will exercise my discretion to impose a stay under Section 105 for the temporary period for the court to determine whether a further stay is appropriate under the circumstances. I hope I have articulated to Ms. Naylor and Mr. Owens the court's concerns, and that on this record it does not appear that there has been a sufficient change of circumstances. But I will wait to see what the schedules and statements indicate. And I would ask again that the parties follow the rules when they file the papers. I know Ms. Naylor's papers complained that the creditor's objection, which has been withdrawn, was not timely filed because it was several hours late. And if she's going to make the complaint that others should follow the rules, I would remind her that she needs to follow the rules as well. So with that, let me.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
If you're going to ask that we follow the rules, maybe you should also do the same.
Is this not the things that are being said in this hearing? Is this not the things that we wish we would have heard in other hearings that we've watched, right? Like calling stuff out off the top.
In any one of them? In any one of the 35 hearings that we've watched? Yeah, maybe.
Right. Like, your burden of proof here. You have to prove you didn't receive. Like,
So Timmy the dog says, I'm still stuck on the transfers of ownership in the LLCs and the ponies being casually moved from the LLC. I'd like to see the prior returns in the initial documents of the LLCs. I think so would the DOJ.
Yeah. And so so going back, like, they're going to want the 23 and 24 and 25 returns. So that'll be fun. And then yeah, Laura transferred those horses out of her name into Quartet right. I'm trying to remember if it was after the Court of Appeals. No, I think it was right after or right before the judgment came out on Clayton's case. I'm trying to remember the timeline. But it was like around that time. So she thought she was being slick. She thought she was moving a shell around, but Yeah, they still have, I mean, we don't know what's happened to Sirocco, and I don't know what the other ones that are, and there's that mini horse, Nugget. They have horses.
Yeah, well, just remember sending the document certified. They evaded, Laura evaded the, what is it? The restraining order. She couldn't get served because she wouldn't answer the goddamn door.
Yeah, and let's also, I know this is not what you're saying, but I just want to clarify, it is not a mistake. The presumption, she said, the presumption is that if it was mailed, you received it. People misunderstand service a lot. You do not have to receive it. It just has to be proven that it was mailed, right? So the government doesn't have to send it certified mail. They send it regular mail, and if they put it in the mailbox, it is presumed that it was received. That is the law. So she doesn't have to do it that way.
What if you really don't get it though?
No. You can make the argument you really didn't get it. The problem is when you have people who have repetitively lied on multiple documents and cases, and then you're expecting the credibility to be there that they didn't receive something. Come on.
Do we know what type of LLCs they are?
So every state has like different legal categories for them, but they're yes and no, I would say. So yes and no, because some of them are in one person's name only. Some are in Laura, most of them are in Laura and Jan's name. So no, they're not sole proprietors.
This is a good point. They showed up. That has to be proof of service. Yes.
Well, they didn't show. No, the hearing they didn't show up to was the IDI, the identification something. It's not a hearing. It's not official. It's not on the docket. It's just a meeting between you and the U.S. Trustee's office, and where you submit like identity documentation proving that you are the person who filed.
Okay. Laura's
Interview.
name I thought was on more of the LLCs than just one.
Yeah, it was on Liz Max, and then she tried to backdate it, removing her name off of that and putting it into Jan's, but the backdate isn't accurate anyway. So now just Jan's name is on Liz Max. Laura and Jan are on Quartet Farms, according to the state of California. Still, they're both on there. I think Jan alone is on Good Luck Shop. Laura alone was on Stylete, and Laura and Sarah were on Keybacker, and then Jan alone, I think, was on Nobody Told Me, if I'm remembering correctly. There's so many.
They removed her name. I believe it was like 2 weeks after the case.
Max. Yeah, Liz Max.
The ink wasn't even dry, and they were like, "Get her off of that right now."
Yeah, she also tried to backdate it, but it didn't work. It stated the date stated. Yeah.
Turn to Ms. Hall and get a continued hearing date. And I'm looking for something shortly after June 26th and probably after June 30th, which is the 3/41 date.
Yes, Judge, we can set that for Wednesday, July 1st at 2 p.m.
I'm talking. Sorry, I'm on mute. I'm full of snot right now. So what happens when they decide to look into this? What is the next step for something like this to happen? Like that happens?
So, like right now, what they're doing right now in this discussion is setting up the next set of hearings, so to speak, or confirming the next set of hearings. And those are natural, but what will likely come out of their meeting of creditors that is, as of right now, is scheduled to happen on June 30th, is something very similar to what we saw in Laura's case, where the U.S. Trustee's Office will schedule a 2004 hearing, a deposition, so to speak, where Ron and Jan will have to come up with, I don't know if you remember, but all the stuff that she asked from Laura, they'll have to come up with all those same documents. And that's a doozy of a request for these two people. Laura's might have been a little easier, right? But there's so much that they're going to have to provide that is a problem for them.
So obviously, I mean, it's obvious to me that Jennifer is very aware of this family as a whole, right?
Mm.
What happens in a case like this when somebody starts putting up documents of, oh, we have a chapter 11, a chapter 13, and a chapter 7, and you start going over all of these things and you start realizing that this does not line up. None of it lines up. So either the Owens as a couple have lied or Laura as an individual has lied. I mean, obviously, we know that
both.
both of them
Right.
have lied, but what happens to what happens when they figure, and I'm sure she's figured that out by now, but what are the repercussions for that?
So what I would like, I don't know if it's even possible. I believe it could be. I want RICO charges against this family, man. I feel like they are a crime family that needs to be charged with schemes, right? Like
What is a RICO?
RICO is like what they get when they can't get like drug lords for drug stuff, they get them for RICO charges, which are like oh my gosh, it's basically like a bunch of people who collude to commit crime.
RICO.
There's a better explanation of it than what I just said, but yeah.
Charges.
So
A federal or state racketeering allegation under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask Gemini, explain this if I were 5.
I would just love RICO charges.
Okay, imagine a neighborhood club where some kids decide to team up to break the rules. If one kid steals a bike, they get in trouble. But if they form a secret club to steal bikes, hide them, and sell them together, that secret club is what police call an enterprise. I just think about like a diabolical kids group. A RICO charge is a special, super strong law that the police use to stop the whole club and not just the one kid who took the bike. The rule is you cannot use a club to do bad things over and over again. The catch is even if the club leader did not personally steal the bike, they still get in big trouble just for running the club, which would be Ron, essentially, right? The punishment, the police can take away all the club's toys and money, and the members have to go to timeout for a very, very long time. And yeah, that's great. I love that.
I mean, I feel like it's a pipe dream for me, for real, but like you can't tell me that this family is not a criminal enterprise. I won't believe it at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
they're torturing predators and men across the country. Like this is, and other people. Let's not forget the other people. Yeah, maybe it could be a waste of money, but I mean, that's again, we're talking about now let's be realistic. I do believe, I'm going to come back to that. I do believe that they are dancing very close to trouble with this case, right? Like if they had just gone away after their chapter 13, as much as we know that there were issues with it and that there were misrepresentations and all of that, even with Laura's case, and if they both would have just gone away after dismissal and not refiled, but you can only fuck around with the government so many times before they're like, okay, let's play ball, right? I know,
bro, I didn't even fuck around with the government, and they came after me immediately. No, I didn't even know I fucked up.
Right. That's the thing. So it's just, I think it's a bold move, Cotton, right? Like it's something that I certainly wouldn't attempt. And I don't know.
Well, and when you do something like this, how long does that put you in the radar of under, the government's watch, even after you're done with it?
Say that again.
So even, okay, let's say, they do this, even if they get caught or don't get caught, right? You are now under the government's watch. How long does that last?
Right.
Forever?
And clearly, I mean, I mean, Jennifer comes in, right, and is up to speed and on top of it. Like now you are under watch, right? Like now you're on a list
Yeah.
for sure. A list that probably nobody else sees outside, but you're on a list. Real quick. So Tony Marie says, I'm seriously concerned that Ron really doesn't know how much of a financial hole Laura and Jan has put him in, and that what is actually happening to his monies. Well, first of all, Ron was involved in the chapter 13 filing. The attorney would have interviewed with him or at least met him, and he was in on that meeting. And hold on a minute. I want to address that too.
Okay, I'm gonna hold I'm gonna be so behind in chat. That's fine.
I know, sorry.
No. I want to keep, because there's so many questions I see in here that I want answers to.
Yeah, there are good ones too. But anyway, I don't give Ron that much grace. I just don't. You created that. You made this bed. You're sleeping in it now. That's my opinion with Ron. So yeah, sole proprietorship. I want to get back to that real quick. I get the question now. The Nobody Told Me podcast is the only LLC that I know of that is in Jan's Social Security number. The others have EINs. They have the identification numbers, tax ID numbers for LLC. And none of that matters when you commingle money like they have here. It's all up for inspection and clawback. They're causing problems. They're causing problems for themselves.
Obviously, we don't know where their money is going, but will it be looked into further?
Yeah, I think it will. I think that's where they're in a, like I said, they're dancing on the edge right now. And they probably even already crossed it. It's gonna be looked at. Yeah. I agree. Like I said, Rico's my fantasy charge, but no, I'd be happy if they just investigated them, to be honest, and made them sweat.
Yeah. I don't think a RICO that's more than one person, right? Because I mean, if it was just individual, it would just be federal charges against that particular person. Because it would be bankruptcy fraud, right?
Well, didn't they charge Sean Combs with RICO?
Yeah, but I mean, technically he was running a RICO.
Yeah.
Right? It was like a group of people running crimes. And that's what the thing said, right? Like it says, even as the leader, if you're not participating in the bike stealing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be physically participating in it.
Yeah.
But you have to be, the leader of it.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody who knows about it says that, I believe them. I don't have any reason not to. Jupiter James, maybe they will have a successful enterprise after all. Some sort of enterprise.
Good Lord.
But yeah, it's I
also can't imagine, and this is the thing too, like obviously we're coming down to the wire, the is it, isn't it, will she go to trial, will she take the plea again, right? Your daughter is on the chopping block for 14 felony counts. She is looking down the pipeline of fucking prison. Why are you doing this right now?
Somebody said I think in one of the Discords, and this was a good comment that I hadn't thought about. Somebody mentioned that they think that Jan really, really doesn't want Laura to go to prison because that's her cohort. That's how she lives, right? She lives through Laura and is 100% on board with all this. So, in my opinion, allegedly. So
yeah, but do you think that Jan would push Laura to admit that she fucking lied about all of it?
I don't think Jan has that kind of influence over Laura. No, I think she might. I don't even think when we watch the interaction between them on that body cam footage, I don't think Jan could tell Lauren hush or Laura hush and have Laura listen to it or even hear it. I don't think she has any sort of influence on her that way. I just don't.
This isn't a bad idea. If they keep saying that he's that bad, right?
Yeah, it's hard to prove. I mean, and that wouldn't work well in their favor. They'd be the ones to request it, and it won't work well in their favor. Yeah, they have to. Yeah, you can't. Sorry. The question is, if Jan is his POA, would they even need to speak to Ron? Yes. You cannot file a court case like this by a power of attorney.
Right. Could be doing all this. I guess what would be the motive would be my question.
I mean, if Ron was a jerk dad, maybe. But I mean, I don't think you can make sense out of what Laura is doing if you had all the time in the world to figure it out. I don't think you could make sense of it. Yeah. So the question is, didn't bankruptcy used to be real easy and now it's harder? Yes, there were laws changed that made it more difficult. You have to go through debt counseling and all this kind of stuff to make sure that you actually will succeed in your bankruptcy.
Well, and also, do you think that's because people were taking advantage of that system?
Yes.
Okay. And a RICO can be for one person. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I believe you.
They're playing on Ron's health issues. His Parkinson's is clearly slow progression. He has a brain implant. He had a cancer diagnosis. So have I. I'm not dying because it's treatable. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what state he's in, but obviously they use him for whatever excuse that they can. And I think that becomes the issue then, right? Is Ron capable or is he not? Because now, in my opinion, let's say I'm Jennifer Giamo. You have somebody who's filing bankruptcy as a couple. Is he of sound mind? Does he know what he's getting dragged into right now?
I think that's part of what that IDI is to determine too, right? Not that every single filer is of sound mind, but just to have a short conversation with the debtor and suss out some things. I think if you say, okay, they've been saying this about Ron for 20 years, eventually with his age, some stuff that they say is gonna be true. He's declining, he's whatever. I just don't. People who are ill can also be assholes that deserve to be held accountable. Take the fall for what, Fletcher boy? I know you.
I think it benefits Jan to have Laura as a victim as much as it benefits Laura to have Laura as a victim.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. If Laura concedes to anything, then it looks bad on Jan, I think.
Agree. Yes. And it all comes back to optics and how they look. That's such a great point.
It is. I had this thought a while ago where I was like, they think that the ends justify the means, right? That's what these people think. So they think that if they stole a sonogram or, faked an HCZ result or wrote a fake doctor's note, that it all justifies the end result for them, what they think the end result should be. But I don't know that he has okay, so the question is, if Ron is smart, he would separate his income and revoke Jan with POA. I don't think Ron has ever touched finances, and I don't think he's capable of handling it on his own. He certainly has enough money where he could, pay somebody to do it. But I don't know that she has a durable power of attorney. Maybe, but I don't know.
He also, maybe he could have changed it and she has no idea.
Yeah.
He could revoke that.
Yeah, like Corey Richard's husband.
Yeah. How do we know who's paying? Or unless, what if Christian Luter, I mean, this could be a case, right? Because depending on how they operate inside of his in his firm, but is it possible that he could take this case and just saying, you'll pay me when it's done?
Yeah, I think that's how, I don't think that's what happened, but I do think isn't that how Casey Anthony's attorney or he got some royalties out of something, I think.
Bet he did, girl.
Yeah, right.
Bet he did.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's all kinds of arrangements that could be the case.
Yeah.
I do think I don't have any proof, but I think he got some money because, and the reason I think that is, where is this 21 grand going a month? How did you not pay your mortgage? Okay, the last mortgage payment was from February of 25. And you file bankruptcy in August, you make your first payment in September on the bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden a storm, a shit tank, and car issues have derailed you. How? You should have March, April, May, June, July. You should have 6 months of mortgage payments in the bank if you weren't making them. How?
Right. Toadette, thank you for the super.
Yes, thank you.
I love when Tiff is on here, when people are smarter than me, so I can ask all of the people's questions.
Joke's
let's
on
see.
you. I'm not smart.
Be smarter than me. Payback for how he treated Sarah. Yeah, I don't know. If I was Sarah and my name was on this house, I'd be shitting myself right now.
It's not good. The longer it drags out, I've said this, and I know like it's impossible for all of us to watch each other's streams all the time, but I said this on a stream that if Ron and Jan really do care about their other daughter and their grandchildren, then they would let this house go, because all it is doing is further damaging their finances, their financial scores. So if, for example, that foreclosure auction had gone through on May 26th, those loans are closed out at that time, right? They're, whatever happens to them, they're written off. There might be some HELOC, that they tried to come after, but for the most part, the credit activity on those accounts stops. And then you start recovering from it. So if you've ever had a collection account, you know that once the collection account goes away, it's a new day.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. And dragging it out is just dragging out that timeline that has to occur after these loans eventually default and close, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that to my grandchild. I couldn't imagine.
Oh my God. No. Here's the thing, Seamus, though. With people like this, they would let everything that they have burn to the ground before they allowed public perception to be bad.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is I know somebody like this, and they would absolutely, everything has to go. And they would sacrifice at all costs as long as they still thought that they looked like good people.
And the whole, smear campaign is a perfect example, because, Jan said in that, oh, sorry. Yes, thank you.
No, that's okay.
Jan said that this whole thing has caused her family into bankruptcy, or put her family in bankruptcy, and that's number one, not true. But it absolutely allows her to play victim. I lost everything because of this. I can hear it.
Right.
I can hear the radio special playing, the intro. We never thought we'd lose everything because our daughter got pregnant by the fucking bachelor.
Well, you know what, too? I mean, if she goes to jail, you don't think they're going to be doing sit-down interviews?
Fuck yeah. I learned
about how she was wrongfully accused, and about how they're going to go and save her from this, and,
Yep. I think, so Emily D. Baker, who is amazing, said something a while ago I didn't know. I learned from her, and it makes sense that when they do these interviews, they don't pay for the interview, but they pay for the photographs. They pay the licensing fee for the photographs. So Jan will have to go to San Francisco and get photos out of storage, but she'll have so much to, sell to ABC News when she does that interview, or People Magazine, right? Like,
yeah.
It sets her up for it.
Timmy says, but they look bad. I don't get this. But they think, in my opinion, people like this think what they're doing is justified.
Mm-hmm.
So we're dumb. We don't have the full story. We don't know anything about them. We don't have all the evidence. We're just making up lies. That's what these people will tell you. Well, you don't understand. You didn't remember it correctly. Whatever it is that they'll tell you because they think that they're justified in doing what they're doing.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm so behind. I'm going to skip a little ahead here.
Oh, Patrick had a good point.
Oh, where?
Oh, not yet. In the hearing, not yet. It's a little
Where's
ways
Patrick?
up. LOL, cow lawyer. I don't know. Maybe 20 comments up.
All right, let me see.
He said the 2001 hearing alone has me thinking they won't get counsel. Any lawyer, here, I'll just read it. Any lawyer who knows they have to prep for that is going to charge a $20,000 retainer, which they don't have. I think, yeah, I agree with that. This Chapter 11 is not cheap.
So what do you mean by that? That it's not cheap? You have to pay to file for bankruptcy?
No, well, number one, yes, it's more expensive to file a Chapter 11 case. It's like $1,700, but without an attorney. But just the legal part of it too, the attorney part of it is more expensive because it's more involved.
Okay.
It's more complex. So you have to get, it's a specialized, there it is. It's a specialized knowledge of law. So beyond bankruptcy, it's even more specialized. And so those people don't come cheap.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, let's go. I'm going to look for some more chats and we'll go in here.
Yeah.
All right, Wednesday, July 1st at 2 p.m. Ms. Jarmo, will you be traveling? Do you need to appear by video? Oh, you're on mute, ma'am.
Been
I
there.
apologize, Your Honor. No, I will be home from vacation by then.
All right, thank you. So with respect to the IDI, has that been reset and will it be reset after? I mean, I think you need the papers in order to proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. So I left the office. I was left town on I believe Friday. So I have not been in communication. I don't have my work computer. I will have to reach out when I get back on Monday, and I will talk to the bankruptcy analyst and the paralegal who handle the scheduling of the IDI. But yes, obviously it will need to be rescheduled, and those documents will have to be given to the U.S. trustee before the 341 meeting. So actually, I do want to point out that if we do have, and I'm fine with Your Honor having the hearing go forward before the 341 meeting, but we will in all likelihood need to continue the 341 meeting because we need sufficient time for the analyst and the paralegal to reschedule the initial debtor interview. And then I will need time to be able to review with the documents before they come in for the meeting of creditors. So like I said, I'm fine with the July 1st date to have this matter continued. And we can always do the 341 meeting after that.
Well, I am, I'll let your office, of course, handle it. That's your office's prerogative, and you handle those. That's not a court matter. It's a matter through your office. I was just going to say it's unusual for the court to have granted an extension to file schedules to the 26th, given the 341 is on June 30th. I typically require those papers at least a week before the 341. And so I do see that this is a bit of a time crunch where those papers are due on Friday and the 341 is on Tuesday. So
Fake Laura Owens, where you been, Loca? Fake Laura Owens, you got 2 days to decide if you're going to trial or if you're taking the plea deal. I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on in that little brain that's got a couple of jumping beans in there. I need to know.
Yeah, I love the tornado that's happening inside that house right now.
Somebody asked about his pension. What happens to his pension?
So, if we can believe Jan in her filings, she says that they have a 100% spouse payout type of pension. And it's possible that that is a thing that could be where if either of them passes, they each get the other's pension 100%. I believe that's an elective decision, and I find it hard to believe that they opted to that because my guess is that makes your pension lower over time, but whatever, it's fine. Sure, let's believe that. The Social Security is a different
His,
story.
you're saying that his pension is lower at $21,000 a month?
Yeah. Well, I think his pension is actually like 12,000, and then all the other money they make, it makes
Oh,
up
through
to
Social Security and
yeah, because they have
things
Social
like that.
Security and yeah. So
That's right.
then with Social Security, what'll happen is Jan's will drop off because she makes the smaller amount, and she'll receive his Social Security as a spouse. I don't know where that came from, but that's hilarious. So there was another comment I had starred. Where'd it go? Was that the one? Yeah. So anyway, Patrick had said you basically have to run your life like a business, and everything can be audited, like while you're receipts for everything, and the attorney has to present that like while you're in Chapter 11. So yeah, this will be a tough one for him. I feel like there was a point in there.
We were talking about the pension.
About so that's the pension part, but
Life goal.
Ms.
Have
Jam
bacon
does
and
not
drink.
want.
Sorry. Where you been, Loga?
Right.
This is the skin of a fraud, Bella.
the scheduling conversation here is interesting to me because you can kind of tell that Ms. Giammo does not want to give up any time to them that she does not have to. She wants everything to stay on track the way it is, even if it affects her in her office, I believe. It's interesting. Don't give them an inch.
No, because they'll take it.
So I appreciate your office's need to have a quick turnaround. So Ms. Naylor and Mr. Owens, I'm going to direct that you email those documents to Ms. Giammo's office, as well as filing them with the court's records so that she will have them as soon as possible.
And which documents specifically are you talking about?
The documents that Ms. Giammo has requested and the amended papers you're planning on filing.
The amended schedules then?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Your Honor, may I say one more thing?
Just a moment. I have a question from the court.
Timmy, Good Luck Shop was clothing, I believe.
It is still clothing. It's active in its clothing. It's apparel. Of course, the apparel.
I'm about to find it right now.
Yeah.
Yes, we got a message from Helen in the chat asking about, I'm guessing the court to ask about GoFundMe.
Let's go, Helen.
Ma'am, you are appearing by Zoom, as is Ms. Giammo and others, and apparently there was a query to the court deputy through the chat system requesting the court to ask you about information where you have set up a GoFundMe site. Did you wish to address that?
Your Honor, I imagine this has to do with the smear campaign, which has been going on against our family for the last 3 years.
Okay. All right. So, hey, listen, smear campaign or no smear campaign, do you have a GoFundMe set up? Yes or no?
Yeah, the schmear campaign is irrelevant. Honestly, like, it's irrelevant. You have a GoFundMe that you have not disclosed to this court. Make no mistake, Miss Giammo's aware of it, but it wasn't disclosed.
It doesn't matter if it's a.
A GoFundMe was set up on behalf of my husband by friends, and that was set up in December of 2024, and it was set up at that time in an effort to try.
Wasn't it over $100,000 too? Okay, just wondering.
To help us prevent the
forest fires
situation.
Damn it, it wasn't forest fires.
And it was set up at that time in an effort to try to help us prevent the bankruptcy situation.
Your Honor, may I, if I can just intervene here real quick? I think what the issue is that there was a GoFundMe set up in the name of Mr. and Mrs. Owens, and I think there was over $100,000 generated, and that was never disclosed in the Chapter 13 or in this case. That's what the issue is. And that was something that I was going to delve into in the 341 meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank
Well, and here's my question, right? Who runs the GoFundMe?
Mhm.
So is it them or is it a third party outside of the family?
Well, the problem is that Ron is the beneficiary of the GoFundMe, so it really doesn't matter who started it and is the campaign manager, whatever they call them. Ron is the beneficiary. The funds have to go to Ron. So where are they going? Where's that account?
Christian?
Right.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and wrap up this meeting, this hearing. Did you give me the hearing dates and times?
Yes, I did, Judge.
We apologize.
Yeah, that's July 1st at 2 p.m.
So July 1st at 2 p.m., we'll resume this hearing. The court will impose a temporary stay or extend the Section 362 stay via Section 105 temporarily until the conclusion of that hearing, when the court can consider in a more fulsome manner the schedules and statements that are forthcoming, the amended schedules and statements, and any other papers. And again, I've directed Ms. Naylor and Mr. Owens to email to Ms. Jaimo any papers that they file with the court, and also the papers for the IDI. And with that, I believe everything is concluded at this time. Is there anything further? Ms. Jaimo, I see your hand.
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to clarify, are you allowing the debtors to refile more pleadings in support of their motion after filing the amended schedules? And if so, I would ask that I would be given an opportunity to reply.
I actually have not asked for that.
Okay.
But
I prefer that, Your Honor. I think that the schedule.
You raised your hands.
I didn't mean to raise my hand. I was doing jazz hands because Patrick's comment was absolute fire. I love it.
Oh, yeah. If they don't disclose the GoFundMe on their amended schedules, Queen Jennifer is 100% referring them to the DOJ for prosecution.
Good.
Schedules should speak for themselves.
I agree. We have a motion, we have a response, and we have a reply, and that's all the court needs. Okay.
Very good.
All right. Any other questions or concerns, Ms. Naylor or Mr. Owens?
Yes, I have. So the 341 was scheduled for the 30th. Where does that stand?
It's still scheduled on that date and time.
On the 30th. Okay. And the continuance is July 1st. Okay. And the other thing is, I wanted to sincerely apologize with regard to the IDI. We did not get any notification in the mail about that. And
but not the fact that I left $136,000 off my filing.
Right. Like you can talk about it all you want. They already said it's a presumption. So it's really, words aren't going to solve your problem here, Jan. I want to bring this up real quick. Yeah, Jan lying to the judge about the GoFundMe and why it was set up. It wasn't to ward off the bankruptcy. It did say it was to help with Ron's medical bills. Those two things could go together. However, if it was set up to ward off the bankruptcy, then why, as that money was actively coming in, were you not making your mortgage payments? Because you stopped making mortgage payments after February. And money had come in, a good amount of money. So if it was trying to ward off the bankruptcy, you need a better story.
I have gone back because I get daily notifications from the U.S. Postal Service with photographs of every piece of mail that I'm getting that day. And I have gone back and looked at the mail that was delivered, and what was in there for every day since we filed on May 22nd. And there was nothing that came to us with regard to an IDI or anything like that. So I have looked because I thought, did I?
So I had the benefit of watching this live because literally it was a matter of just trying to get into the meeting, and I found out I could, and a few other people figured out that we could. You had to identify yourself, but oh well. seeing,
Did you identify yourself as BigTiff dog in there?
yeah, right. No. But, like if they asked your name, you had to say it. But, I think I got in a little window where they didn't ask my name. But anyway, seeing Miss Gemma's face when when Jan's making this argument about the mail was just kind of funny.
Ugh, I just can't. I can't
Mhm.
with it anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm hot.
No,
This is making me sweat. It's making my perimenopause go up and down, girl.
it's been chilly the last couple of, not chilly. It's been like not as hot the last couple of days, and all of a sudden it's getting warmer out here in our area of the state, in my area of the state, I should say. Yeah, she was on camera. The question was she on camera for it? Yeah, they were on camera. It was a Zoom meeting, so they were on camera. But the person, real quick, the person bringing up the GoFundMe, it's fine. I don't know. I think there's this weird gray area with GoFundMe. It's technically, from what I understand, not taxable, but it doesn't mean that it's not reportable income in a bankruptcy filing. So,
Well, I mean, anything though, anything, if you get any substantial amount of money and
Yeah.
it goes into the bank. For example, I know in the state that I live in, I believe if I give you anything over $10,000,
Mhm.
then you have to pay taxes on it, even if
Yeah.
I give it to you as a gift. So
Yeah.
if I give you $10,000.01, you have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
But if I give you $9,000 and it hits your bank account and they see your bank records, you have to account where that came from.
Yeah.
Why do you have that money?
Right. And especially, so like with GoFundMe, it's an organization, so they have reporting requirements and such too. Like even if it's not taxable, they have to report things, So yeah, it's traceable and trackable and reportable. And where did they say I have to be honest? Yeah, whatever, Jan. I don't believe anything she says.
I just don't understand like why you would openly allow these people to start looking into your bank.
It's not logic. I'll tell you that much. It's not logic that gets you there.
I have to assume now going through all of this is the tip of the iceberg. When they start investigating, there has to be, because I feel like a family like this is going to do what they can with what they think they can get away with. So what else do they have when you start revealing layers? What else is there? What other money is there?
I have a feeling it's stuff we can't even imagine. I mean, we didn't, like the freaking horse lawsuit in Florida that was 10 years ago. We just found out about a few months ago. Like, there's still stuff that comes up and shocks us. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm just so curious because I have to assume they've gotten away with so much for so many years.
Yeah.
So they have a good idea of what they can do and what they can't.
Yeah.
And now they've just gotten caught up. And honestly, if it wasn't for Laura, I don't think they would have.
Right. And people who have not filed business tax returns or tax returns, period, and kept records of business expenses over a 2-year period at least are probably not paying attention to what money comes from where and goes where.
Yeah. Will it be a Zoom hearing?
Yeah, it'll be a Zoom hearing. It'll be the public can log in and observe. You have to, especially in a 341 hearing, you have to follow the rules. You can't speak, and you literally just observe, but you can't interrupt, I should say. But yeah, it'll be watchable. You can't record. So like watching it and listening to it, mostly because I was driving for a lot of it, but like and trying to remember everything that was happening was wild.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to record. And I'm not about to test the government on that.
Nope.
No, not the feds. No, thank you.
Mm-mm.
Miss it, or and it was not on the docket. And in fact, I had called.
It doesn't belong on the docket, and the court would have nothing about it. Let me just ask Ms. Jamo to email whatever it is she's requesting directly to you, Ms. Naylor and Mr. Owens, and we'll move on. This hearing is concluded. Thank you.
This is such a great point. I forgot about this because I had a business, and for a while I was doing quarterly. Would they not do that with the money that they're making?
Well, it should be, but I mean, they're clearly not, because we saw at least for just one business, we saw the objection from the Arizona Department of Treasury, where their individual taxes had not been filed and their business tax certifications had not been filed. So I don't believe so. No.
And how many years have they not filed?
Well, apparently they have filed 23. She says 24 in here, but the Arizona Department of Treasury filed another claim in this case, and it indicates 24s aren't filed. Maybe federally they're filed, but I don't know.
Why do you think Clayton hasn't gone forward with going after Lo for what she owes him? Because I think he wants the bigger fish, which is prison.
Yeah.
I think, and also I think you can't get blood from a stone. I really don't think I think that it would essentially cost him more money to get than what he's going to get back. And is it worth it? In my opinion, because I'm a spiteful bitch. Yeah, it is. I mean, drive her into the ground any way that you can, because that's what she did to him. But is it worth him costing himself another $150K to try to go after her? I don't think so.
No, I think that's where we're at right now is financially. Is it you have to, if we're going to judge people over their finances in this whole series of cases, then you have to acknowledge that it is financially responsible to not keep throwing good money at bad. And I think if you keep pursuing money that you can't retrieve, that's all you're doing. I mean, there's a judgment out there. It's filed against her. Anything that she comes into is collectible. So I think you've done all you can do at this point.
Yeah. I really hope that the plea deal, I know that, I mean, we all know that Clayton wants her to see prison, but I do hope, because it makes me feel like she also wouldn't take it, but I really hope restitution is a part of that, because
Yes.
not only they're never going to get back their time. She could at
Yes.
least give them back their money.
I absolutely believe restitution is, should be a big factor in it, because I think it's more enforceable that way. And I think I do. I think it would acknowledge also the damage that's been done to both Greg and Clayton and the other victims, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I absolutely believe in restitution. I also want, I don't so much care. I do want her to spend some time in jail. But I really like the idea of a very strict probation. I think she's going to hate it.
Well, and also too, I mean, if they make her get a job so that they can garnish her wages to give it back to these men.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I mean, a lot of people don't want to see, we all want the spectacle of a trial, right? That would be the best way to end this entire spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, like I said before, with the plea deal, it's just as good for her to have to admit every count that she lied.
And right, because I know people are worried that after she's all done, she'll just say, that she didn't, just like what's her face out in California, Papini.
Mhm.
But she's going to do that anyway.
Right.
She's going to do that anyway. So can we get what we want in the meantime, which is for her to have those words on the record, on the official record. She loves the official record, right? Let's put it on the official record.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I just don't know. I don't see. There's so many things that, episode 12 of Love Trap just solidified for me that she won't take a plea. So I'll be interested if she does.
Why do you think her parents are doing this right now?
I think they thrive off of it. Jan especially. Ron is just whatever keeps the silence, right? Whatever keeps the house in, what's the word? As calm as possible, as close to calm as possible, right? Like where he doesn't have to get involved. I think Ron is very non-involved kind of parent, right? Not plugged in at all.
Right.
And maybe even husband, I don't know, right? So I think, whatever lets him get through his day is what he's okay with. Jan, I think, just thrives on it. And we can see that from her filings, which I'm sure Laura helped with, and her probate case. Like, there's so much that shows that Jan loves this shit. Which
I
is
just,
wild.
again, like I look at this from Laura's perspective, and I don't know under what circumstance me looking at prison or me proving the internet wrong, that's the option I would choose. And it still seems so important to her.
Yeah.
With coming out in these objections to Omar and these the motions to extend or expedite, I'm sorry, with the DVRO case for Mike. And I just heard, I don't know if it's true. Did I hear correctly that she tried to do a copyright on True Crime and Wine Time?
Yeah, I think she did do a copyright strike. I don't know if it'll stick, but because if you do a copyright strike, I think you have to prove that you do have the ownership of.
Well, and you have to put in your legal name, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all, well, not that she wouldn't lie on a legal document, but
Right.
But I think she did, but they're fighting it. But that's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, why is this what you're spending your time on? Why are people on the internet talking about you? And that's the thing too, I guess. And I'm such a different person, because I think I would come out and I would explain myself. And then those of you who wanted to believe can believe, and those of you who don't want to, fucking fall off then.
Right.
I'm not going to continue to fucking explain myself.
Yep.
Because now I have to go fight this battle so I don't go to fucking prison.
Yep.
And then her parents are doing this. Why are we not all doing what is in the collective best interest of Laura?
Right. So I guess maybe I answered the question wrong. So if you mean this, like in terms of why are they doing this bankruptcy, then it's a stall tactic. I don't, and maybe they believe. Okay. I think based on some of the phrasing she used in her motions, she does maybe believe that she can get the mortgage to be amended the way she wants. That's not true, but I don't know. These people are so out of touch with reality. Like I said, I have seen combat wounded veterans lose their homes because the lender made a mistake and didn't pay their taxes, and then their taxes increased their mortgage payment, so they couldn't afford it, and then they lost their home.
Right.
So Ron being sick isn't getting you that house, no matter what. It's just not happening. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's to delay. I don't know if they really believe their shit. I don't know.
I wonder if they're so, I mean, obviously they're so used to robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? So if they, in this position, they can't really buy their way out of the charges for Laura. So if they could buy time, what does that do? Or maybe because it's all around the same time, maybe it's deflection. Maybe because they think we're focusing on this, we won't focus on that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe that's it. Or I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of all those things, right? Yeah.
It was because of the green screen, which is interesting because I played their version of the video of the green screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she doesn't own those outtakes, but it doesn't matter in her mind. She doesn't own a lot of things that she tries to copyright strike. And that's why they, yeah, that's why they get undone, you know, especially copyright strikes. Those are different.
Yeah. This is one of my biggest issues with YouTube, is the fact that if I wanted to take the copyright strike off of my channel, I would have to provide the person giving me the copyright strike my real name and address. And a lot of people just kind of let it sit unless you get 3 of them, because if you get 3 of them, they'll take away your whole channel, which is
Yeah.
so ridiculous. Why should I give somebody who I don't know my real name and address?
Yeah, I don't dig that either. I don't. YouTube has a lot of dumb, weird rules, and I don't like it. Yeah, we can't logic.
Laura had a chance to drop this and apologize before the depositions. Yeah, and it's not even like and look, even down to the November hearings, right? When she claims that she's 100% pregnant, she's wearing the moon bump, she's deep throating Monster energy drinks, right? I understand being so deep in something and not understanding how to get out. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna ride this to the end. I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know. But then you have a separation, right? You're done with Clayton. You have the $150,000 judgment. You have the separation of it. And now they're like, oh, we're going to indict you on these things. That even would have been the perfect time to be like, you know what? Fuck it, guys.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I don't
Make
know.
it go away clean and quick, right?
Right.
But yeah. Oh, I'm definitely paying attention to what Patrick just said. It's a good point.
I'll get down there.
Yeah.
I'm up far kind of away.
I don't know why there's some comments I can't
like click on?
Star. Yeah, I can't star them. No, some I can, some I can't.
Oh, that's
I don't
weird.
know why.
I'm just trying to go through so we don't miss anything. Don't they have multiple mortgages on their home?
Yeah, 2. They do.
Okay.
They have a first and second.
What happens when they can't actually do the bankruptcy? Do they lose the house? And will they garnish the $21K a month?
Yeah, that's a problem. So depending on the pension may be exempt from garnishment. It's possible it's not, but their Social Security is likely exempt from direct garnishment. There's still ways around that too, but it would be difficult, I think, to pursue garnishments against them, which is why I again say they're in a good spot to just walk away from that house and start fresh and not worry about that $600K and other debt. But they don't do logical stuff.
Patrick, don't I need to use a physical address? Like a physical business address? Because that's the other thing. A lot of people have asked me about a P.O. box. I don't want to do a P.O. box either because I don't want anyone knowing the surrounding towns I'm in, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question too. Patrick should message you on Instagram because Patrick is a good source to have.
Let's go, Patrick. I sent an email to YouTube about those dirty pop-up ads. Remember, I got one back this afternoon and said they're on it and said sorry about that. Wow. Let's still wonder why no wire fraud ID charges.
Yeah.
Chase J. Jones.
I don't know either. It's a good question.
Yeah, I wonder, not so much for her, but her mom. Because if it, well, I guess is it, excuse me, is it all criminal acts or just violent that you can't make money on?
It might depend by state, but I thought it was all. I could be wrong, but I can't imagine you.
Because Sherry Papini's out here trying to write a book or sell a book.
Well, I think, but isn't she off probation? See, after you're off probation, All bets are off, I think.
Oh, I thought it was always.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. That's a great question.
Can you explain withdrawal of
Yeah,
the one lawyer?
to the best of my ability, I sure can. I think they filed a notice of appearance by mistake. I think it's as simple as that. There was a law firm that had filed an appearance on behalf of Alliant Credit Union, which is the second mortgage lender, the HELOC lender. And then they filed a withdrawal like yesterday, I think it was. So they had filed an appearance, I think last week. They filed a withdrawal yesterday. I think it was just a matter of they accidentally filed an appearance because there was already a law firm who was appearing on behalf of Alliant Credit Union. Foreclosure and loss mitigation is like this weird section of, I don't know what you want to call it, law, I guess, where it's like a lot of it is, what do you call it, contracted out. A lot of the miscellaneous tasks that happen when a loan is in foreclosure or in the steps preceding foreclosure, they farm out a title search on the property. They farm out a background check on the borrower. They farm out, an appraisal of the house, even if it's just a drive-by appraisal. They farm out the notices. Who's going to mail out the notices to the borrower that they're in default, and who's going to provide the borrower with all the information about, programs that they're are eligible to. Every single step is farmed out to different agencies or different companies, and a lot of duplication can happen in those cases, those situations. And so I think it's a matter of they accidentally invited too many cooks into the kitchen and one had to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why was Jan claiming car crisis when they all declared nobody had a car? Well, Laura said she had a car.
Yeah, and that her parents were paying for it. Their filing doesn't make sense. It'll be fun to watch the amendments.
I'm just trying. I think it included financial crimes as far as that you can't make money off of them. That would be wild if she could make money,
Yeah,
but didn't have to pay them back.
I would dig it if that were the case. Yeah. Sorry. All of a sudden I have a bunch of Discord notifications. So I was like, what's happening?
No, I'm just I'm looking through to find the questions. Do you
Yeah.
think there's any chance that they'll find Ron, Jan, and Laura and Sarah have commingled finances after and go after all of them?
I think I've said it pretty consistently that the only kind of financial or money management this family knows is I call it financial incest. Everything is intertwined. Everything is commingled. There is no separation. Maybe a little bit with Sarah, but even there, I don't think so much. So yeah, and I mean, I've read cases where the debtor made loan payments to their mother prior to filing bankruptcy, and the trustee went after that money. Filed a suit against the mother.
Do me a favor, okay? Explain to me commingling money. Now, for example, I did a stream with my sister. She got broken up with by her fiance. A bunch of people sent me money through this to give her the money to help her. I sent that to her as a gift. Is that then tied commingling with her?
I mean, technically, yeah, right. But is it criminal and all of that, or financial mismanagement? No. I think that you just did an excellent job of explaining what you did and why, right? Okay. And so I don't see anything wrong with that necessarily. Now, if one of you goes and files bankruptcy, it could be an issue, right? Because this kind of goes to this is similar to the GoFundMe money, right? Like I don't give a fuck what happens to Mike's GoFundMe money because Mike hasn't filed for bankruptcy and lied about the GoFundMe and all of this stuff, right? So I only care about Ron's GoFundMe in the arena where the government looks at what happened there because they lied about it. They didn't disclose it. So I think that what I'm trying to say is it's not really an issue until you make it, until you take an action that makes it one, right? And in my explanation, Ron and Jan have made commingling an issue in what they do because they have filed bankruptcy and failed to disclose what they're doing. Okay. So if they filed, let's say in a world where they filed their paperwork absolutely correctly, they say, I am a married couple. We own however many LLCs. I think they said 3 or 4 LLCs, and they are up to date on all their, taxes and their statements and management of each of those LLCs. And our daughter works for those LLCs, and she receives a paycheck or income from every one of them, for all that matters. Who cares, right? As long as you disclose it, as long as you state this is what's happening to the money that's coming in from XYZ LLC, and this is what's going out, then it's okay. Like, it's likely not going to get you in trouble, right? If they had managed their money properly all along, they might not be in the situation they were in. But we know they didn't manage their money because Jan did not have bank statements to file tax returns for 23 and 24, meaning she had never looked at those statements to prepare even a monthly statement, business statement for any of those LLCs.
Okay.
So when I think Laura's MOC, is a good example of how it can mess you up, because she first says that her parents just pay for things and that she's the face of the company, but she doesn't really get reimbursed for the stuff she does. They just pay her bills. That's a problem. Number one, because you didn't say that. Number two, because they didn't say that. And then they turned around and filed bankruptcy again and still didn't say that.
So my sister files for bankruptcy. She says, I got X amount of dollars. We'll just throw a number out there, right? I got $100 from my sister. They see it on the bank account. She doesn't disclose it because she forgets about it. They say, where'd you get this money? They say, my sister. So then they come asking me questions.
Yeah. And the worst that could happen is they might say, you need to give that back because it should have gone to a creditor who has now been harmed by not being paid that money that she received, right?
Ha ha. Good thing I gave her all that money to pay off her credit card bills.
Right. So right. It's fine. Like I said, as long as you can explain it away. And to be honest, I think that the process does give people some leeway in mistakes that happen on documents and, failure to disclose or whatever. But if you don't make the corrections and do it honestly, and some corrections might be, pay the $100 back, right?
Okay.
Then you have a problem. I mean, most people commingle money, right? Like, think about your family and how you shift money around, right? Most people do that. Like, we bought party supplies for something my daughter was throwing. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Is that something I have to worry about? No.
How long does Clayton have to get his money due? I don't know. I don't know if does that expire?
Oh, I think it's I looked in Arizona once. I think it starts out as a 10-year judgment, and then you can renew it every 10 years, I think. So
I would renew it.
Fuck yeah.
Just to be petty.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm watching court cases where they're going after people who with debt 20 years old. So
what can the bankruptcy attorney actually do for the Owens in this matter?
Help them with the process, help them understand what situation they're in and facing. They can't work a miracle here.
Okay, just so everybody knows, anybody who stated that she was supposed to get liquor, I did send her with a small chunk of money to Louisiana to drink her sorrows away. And she did that.
Porn and cocaine.
Right. Porn and cocaine. Porn and cocaine. But the majority of it was to help her with her debt. I can't imagine that money hasn't been squirreled away through Sarah. Where else could it have gone?
I don't know, but everything's traceable, so good luck. trying to hide it. I just don't know how.
Oh, can't they be charged? That's a good question.
I mean, maybe, but they haven't really filed civil cases. They can, and I think after this, when this case is dismissed, I think it'll have a bar period, kind of similar to what Laura's had, where you can't file it within, however many. I think it's usually 6 months. Laura's 1 year was a longer time, but yeah.
Yeah. Stripey Paw, yes. The GoFundMe was originally set up for medical bills.
Medical expenses.
What's the difference?
Bills would mean they actually paid a bill, right? That came in. Expenses would be we drove him to the doctor's office and that cost us gas money.
Girl, I know you're lying. Shut up.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
We're living in Jan's world, right? Like there's
You know,
every word has a meaning, man. And I'm
This
telling
is
you,
why
there's a
I'm
reason.
not smart enough to be rich because I don't know how to move my money like this.
There's a reason that they're wording things the way they are. Like, oh, everybody's happy we're streaming today.
Yay. I'm happy to be here and upright.
Oh, I know. You were sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally thought your stream was at a different time, and I was like, oh, I can join you if you just give me a little bit. You're
It
like,
was.
tomorrow.
It was no, because it was supposed to be yesterday at 8:30 my time. And then I
Okay.
was too sick, and then my daughter stayed home.
Okay.
Could they get to Sarah's bank statements?
Oh, yeah, they can subpoena. They can subpoena anything, especially if they see money going out into Sarah's bank account. Yes. Yeah, somebody is.
Somebody has to be.
That can be
right?
called back. Yeah.
Oddly enough, Marcus, my throat, this is the best my throat has felt. It's just now I have this tickle in my throat, and I don't have a voice.
Yeah.
But
That sucks. I hate that.
Wednesday, I believe it was on Wednesday. I'm like, oh, I'm swallowing razor blades.
Oh, I hate that. I hate a sore throat more than anything.
Yeah. I literally Googled
Hate
this
it.
morning because this morning my throat did hurt, but we also have been sleeping with the windows open. I'm like, do I have strep throat? But it's like, no, it would have gotten severely worse. I'm deathly afraid of strep throat. I got it one time, and such a fucked up story. Okay. So I get strep throat and I have a fever, and I go to Walgreens because they had a little nurse practitioner there in a clinic. So I'm sitting there and I'm in the waiting area, and there's another woman in front of me, and then there's another woman in getting checked out. And I'm sitting there, whatever, and all of a sudden I'm like, it's fucking hot in here. It's hot. So I start taking my clothes off, and I texted my husband. I'm like, I think I'm going to pass out. And he's like, oh shit, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm not okay. And I remember turning to the woman to my left, and I just go, help. And then all of a sudden I'm gone, and I wake up, and this woman is pulling me, and I'm standing, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, come with me. And so they put me into a bed. They give me a brown paper bag, and the nurse practitioner was like, I'll be with you in a second. She goes into the other room. Her assistant comes in, and she goes, we were looking for an ID medical bracelet. Do you have epilepsy? And I'm like, what the fuck? No. And she's like, I think you may just have had a seizure. And I was like, I've never had a seizure before. And she's like, okay, wait here. So the nurse practitioner is like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I guess. And she's like, all right, we're going to take a swab and send you home with some antibiotics. And that was it. I'm like, should we call 911? Like, whatever. So
Right.
I called to complain to Walgreens because my doctor's like, you better call and ask and see if you can get that security footage. And they were like, we can't release that to you. And then they refunded my whole experience there with they sent me a Walgreens check. They're like, just send her money back. I'm like, what the fuck? God damn it.
Keep her quiet.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think it was a febrile seizure. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had. And my mom has had those. And my sister, Ham, that was on the stream, used to have those as a baby all the time.
I had a cousin whose toddler had them, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it's awful.
She got ear infections. And
yeah. So they can look into stuff we can't see. Yes.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I would be pissed. I'd be like, stay the fuck out of my shit. Not that I'm hiding money, but also like, I just, ugh.
Don't open a door you don't
Mm-mm.
need opened. Like, just don't. I don't know.
Any other questions you guys want answered?
Yeah. I didn't see.
Was it caused by, it was actually caused by Mike driving an Uber, which is
Right.
what he drove me to the Walgreens. So that's
Damn
how
it,
it happened.
Mike. Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see, one world, the BK dismissed, but Laura carries on getting her lawyer paid, and the other trustees, but the blocks on it, and Laura has to go back to a PD.
Public defender.
Oh, public defender, and she'll use that for a continuance.
I feel like that's her next move anyway.
A
But
continuance?
yeah.
But how does she get that?
There's so many. I think maybe separating from her attorney. I don't know. It happens so much in the criminal system where cases just don't follow the timeline they're supposed to.
Situation.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I guess, and that's the thing, right? So separating from your lawyer, either he withdraws or you fire him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and she could just go the Sarah Boone route and then just keep getting attorneys. But yeah, hopefully she delays it until my kids go back to school. That would be great.
It varies by state. Some states are more strict with their schedules and stuff. But yeah, I think that there's some more fuckery that could still be had. Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Deb asks, what did you think of the judge telling Jan that she wouldn't read anything over the page limit? Fantastic, because, and you can hear it, she literally like does the action of some judges tear off, they go to the page limit and they tear off whatever's left and they don't read the rest. And she literally did the motion of it. It was beautiful. And like, seriously, again, your stories aren't going to save you in this case. No, the question, oh, hello, my friend. After hours respawn. With Laura's BK dismissed, has Clayton moved to have a new judgment debtor exam set? No, not yet. I don't know that it's coming, to be honest. I think it's more of a throwing good money at bad. And it has gotten really expensive to go after that money. And I don't know how much more they can do that. How much longer they can do that.
At the moment, she still hasn't waived her right to a speedy trial. So the court is fixed. You know what? I have to tell you, of all the, and I'm going to Google it right now, like I'm 5, of all the criminal crime that I have watched, I don't understand a right to a speedy trial and what it means to waive that and how it affects what happens. I
will be right back. My dog is whining. She wants outside. I'll be right back.
Also, I will talk forever. So just let me know if you have to leave.
No, I don't have to leave. I just have to let her outside real quick. So hold on 1 second.
Okay. Let's see. The right to a speedy trial is a rule that says if the police accuse you of doing something wrong, the government cannot make you wait forever to have your turn in court. That I knew. It makes sure you get your chance to prove that you are innocent quickly so you don't stay in timeout unfairly for a long time. So if you waive it, it slows everything down. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I didn't know. MG Law, me and you are gonna have to chat. Oh, that wasn't you. Virtual juror. Balls in your court. I emailed you. God damn it. I finally did the thing. She's going to waive it. And it already has not been speedy. Interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to see. Okay. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you think she's going to take a plea deal. Put a 2 in the chat if you think she's going to trial. I want to know what everybody thinks because we got 2 days. Also, I love that not only this court, but Stephanie from the podcast was like, hey, Laura, you can definitely have a word in this podcast if you can keep it at 1,000 words.
And you have 48 hours to respond.
Yeah, right.
From having the babies.
Can Laura get a jail job and Clayton go after that money? That's interesting. I don't know.
I think so.
Do you get paid in prison?
Not much, but yeah.
Huh. See, criminal crime. That's the new thing around here.
Yeah, so like the way criminal crime, they kept saying in that video, and I was like, oh my God.
Which video?
The true crime and One Time Girls, they did the bricks and minifigs thing. Like they did a react video where they watched that Reckless Ben.
Oh, okay.
He's doing, and he kept
I know
saying,
nothing about that.
I didn't
kid.
either. Didn't either. I really still don't totally understand it. But in the whole thing, like he's trying to get these guys' Legos back. And he's trying every way he can. This consignment shop has the possession. And he keeps saying they're committing a criminal crime now. I'm like,
Criminal
dude.
crime.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of crime I like is criminal crime.
Criminal crime.
I asked everybody what they think. If they think one, if she's taking the plea deal, two, if she's going to trial.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I say 2.
I do too.
I just do.
Welcome
Which would
back,
be funny.
Tiff. Great job pooping.
That was the dog, but yeah. She's still out there. I have to set a timer because my brain's old and dumb. But
It's all right. I have to do that for my kids so I don't forget to pick them up at school.
I literally do that so I don't forget she's outside. We had animal control come to our house one day in the wintertime. My dog does not like weather, period. Doesn't, not a fan. And one day, I see like the animal control truck slowing down. I'm like, are they pulling my driveway? And they were. Somebody had called and said that I left my dog outside. I'm like, you don't understand. In the wintertime, I have a 3-minute timer, and this dog comes knocking at 1:30. She does not stay outside at all. And the lady's like, well, you're allowed to let your dog outside. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I was like,
yeah.
No.
My dog will stay outside. Also, my autistic son does not feel hot or cold. So he will be outside on the trampoline in snow in his little boxer briefs and his snow boots jumping on the trampoline.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that all my neighbors know who I am and who we are because
like,
I know
"Come get your
somebody,
child."
right. But he's just out there jumping and all the snow on the trampoline is like,
Oh, bless his heart. Oh my gosh.
oh my God. Can you imagine if your first job was a prison job? Oh God.
Oh.
Bye,
I don't-
Ivy.
Oh.
B's out of here.
Oh, hi, IB. And goodbye, IB. I know. IB said they had something going on today. Yeah. I mean, go for it. They'll try you without you there. I don't think that's a smart move either, but they don't do smart moves.
What do you have left?
Got me. In your bag of trickery? We'll see. I think it's funny that kind of everything is all culminating at the end of this month. Insofar as there are paths that need to be taken, right? Whether it's Laura's criminal trial, Ron and Jan's bankruptcy, or the DVRO appeal. Like there are paths that need to be taken. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know.
How long will this buy them time to stay in their house?
I think maybe 6 weeks or so, longer than. So if this stay isn't getting extended, but if it was, it will be until the case is resolved or until the mortgage is restructured.
Oh, it's not getting extended.
I don't think so, in my opinion. If it, so if it does get extended, then they'll have, as long as it takes. So they have to make payments in the meantime, though. So it's not free living at this point. They have to actually pay towards this debt. So I'll go to that in a second. So if it does get lifted, then the foreclosure's back on, baby. I mean, they'll do the notices, and probably within 6 weeks we'll see a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine too, right? She goes to trial and you're now responsible for moving out of the house.
I can't even imagine having the 3 financial things happening, or 3 whatever court case combination combo that's happening at the end of this month. Just also life stuff of moving, although they'll hire somebody that they won't pay. It's insane. It's insane. My shirt. So, Kohl's, get yourself one.
Full shout out, not sponsored.
Right. It's yeah, it's a Snoopy collection. Nope, I have a red one too, actually, because I like it so much.
I love that.
Yeah.
let's see.
So yeah, waiving speedy trial does mean she could drag it out. And I don't put it past her. I mean, we saw Darcy do the same thing, and Darcy's case was filed a year before Laura's. So
Who's Darcy?
Darcy Asamanu is another pregnancy faker in Maricopa County, Arizona, who was filed a whole year, who was charged a whole year
is that
before Laura
the
with
baseball
Trevor,
player?
Yeah, with the Trevor Bauer case.
What is in the water out there? I gotta call my father-in-law and be like, "Are you pregnant?"
I love that. Right. I love that. Jan is like, it's never. This is the first time this ever happened. No, it's not actually. You had a whole nother psychopath before you who was charged. Surprisingly, that one attorney that represented Laura, the public defender, represented Laura for like what was that, like maybe a month and a half. He also represented Darcy for a period of time. Poor guy. He's getting all the pregnancy fakers assigned to him.
Well, what I don't understand is why, because a lot of people have told me that he hasn't been able to like make a comeback after this. And why?
Right.
If they proved it was fake.
Right. I know. And I think this just goes to, okay. It goes to victims not being perfect, I think, right? We want to believe that victims of crimes are perfect people and that they have, not done anything wrong or don't, whatever. They don't deserve this. That's not what my point is. But it's hard for people who are not perfect in people's eyes to come back from from an accusation, I think.
Yeah.
Real or not, right? I watched on Peacock the thing about the Gilgo Beach, his family.
Okay.
It's like where they interview his wife and his whole family.
I don't know anything about him either. I didn't know anything about Gilgo Beach until I started this fucking case.
Yeah, so Long Island serial killer was around for a long time, and his target victims were sex workers, and he I forget what my whole point was. He was a psychopath, but
perfect victims.
Yeah. And so, Jan saying what she said in her interview in the investigation report is laughable and it's comical. And I literally had an immense amount of laughter out of it, right? Like it's hilarious because it's absurd. But watching this documentary, it's like 4 episodes yesterday, was like, these poor families of these women, that all they could do in the whole documentary, and I'm going to tear up a little bit, was explain that their family member mattered.
Yeah.
That they were more than sex work.
Yeah.
They were individuals and mothers and sisters and daughters and aunts and whatever. And it was so sad for them to have that stigma and know that they did not get justice for years and years and years, until one woman who didn't even get included in his crimes her family wouldn't give up. But, fuck Ran. I did it again, guys. Jan. With her, Laura being a victim of that guy. No, honey, no. You're a joke. No.
Have you ever heard of Fox Hollow Farm?
Yes. With the guys, right? The guy.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. So I actually did an interview with the coroner from what county is it? God damn it. I've been in Maricopa for so long. I forgot
what state it is, right?
It's Indiana.
Indiana. Oh.
Yeah, it's Indianapolis. And it's Carmel. It's
I
the
can't think of.
fuck? I can't remember the county. But anyways,
can't
I
think of-
sat down
Yeah.
and had I went to Indiana. I had a podcast with his name's Jeff Jellison.
Mhm.
They did a documentary on just him and following because he wants to get justice for these victims. But it was the same thing. It was in the 90s. It was tens, if not hundreds of, or I don't know, hundreds, but it was at least up to
It's a
100 victims, and they have 10,000 bone fragments to go through, and nobody cared because these men were gay.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep. Like,
Yes,
what was-
Hamilton County. Thank you, mother-in-law, who supports my every dream.
Well, there was another one where it was a case where, oh God, I can't remember it now. Oh my God, I was just watching it, where this guy had raped and killed a woman, and then he, like, months before that, he had also assaulted a different woman, but her kit was never tested. And they found the guy 30 years later because they finally tested that kit, and they found out it was the same. Like, it was gross the way they because rape kits weren't tested and aren't tested still frequently. And it's like, but that led to a murder. He literally, like, unalived 2 people that we know of. And 30 years later, like, there's maybe justice, and he ends up unaliving himself, which is gross. Yeah.
Right.
It's sad. That's an interesting case for me. And so, yeah, to get way off track, but about Jan, I just think it's so gross that she has no problem appropriating herself.
90% of rape kits are not tested until or unless there's a known suspect.
It's wild.
Which,
right?
why? You have CODIS, and now we have familial DNA.
But we'll spend money. We'll spend money chasing a car thief and causing accidents along the way in the path, right? And we don't care about the financial aspect of that, forgetting the dangerous aspect of it. Can even medical providers they've paid get funds clawed back from? I mean, I think anything's up for it, but if they paid a legitimate bill, no, I don't think so. If it was a legitimate bill that was paid, I don't think so.
Yeah.
What do they do on the day-to-day?
I don't think people like this know how to relax. I think there are two states, right? There's fight or flight, right? There's chaos or there's not chaos, which means they have to then drum up the chaos.
Yes.
I've lived that life, and it is not relaxing.
My in-laws live that life, and it's exhausting, and you have to limit yourself to from exposure to it as much as much as possible,
especially if you were raised like that, because you get sucked back into it.
And that's exactly why people don't report. You're exactly right. And so you have that, right? Like, so gross. Yeah, terrifying is exactly the case. It's terrifying because you can only be as safe as you have control over on the road. Funding limitations is the primary excuse. Yeah, I agree with this. Zoe says funding limitations is the primary excuse. Reality, because the people in power are the ones that don't value women and people. The people in power are the ones that set policies that protect their interests. Girl, preach. For sure. There's I got to meet so I went to CrimeCon in 2018, and I got to meet Kelly Siegler from Cold Justice. Is that the name of her show? Now I don't remember. Anyway, she has done a few of her shows in Flint, Michigan, and primarily working on untested kits. And so I told her, I'm from Michigan, and she's like, oh my gosh, Flint, I love Flint. I want Flint to get all the kits tested. Like, it's so, yeah. I'm going to let my dog back in real quick. 1 second.
You guys probably are, but if you're not already subscribed to Tiff, I put her link to her channel down in the description box for my channel. So make sure you go do that. It's like, what? Yeah, we all know how they're going to end. They're so scary. Fantastic and a hero in my eyes. And that's the thing. Like, it's so funny. I've met a lot of different, like, I don't want to say like famous people. I don't know if I've ever met anybody super famous, but I've met relatively famous people, and I have to say I was so starstruck and I was so in awe of Jeff Jellison, who is the coroner for Hamilton County in Indiana, and it's just because these people are real life heroes, and you want to see them succeed, and they dedicate their lives to this thing, and it's amazing.
100%. 100% agree. That year I'd done the VIP package. It was the year right after I had my most serious near-death experience. And I was like, I am living my life from now on. Like, I am doing the things I want to do. And I did the like, whatever, the ultimate package at CrimeCon. And I got to meet really cool people.
I
and
really
spend
want to
time with
go.
them.
It's
was
so
awesome.
funny. So when I was talking to Jeff, I'm like, so what's next? And him and this detective that he was in the documentary with, that he was working with, who was also a lead detective in John Benet Ramsey. I was like, you give me an interview? He's like, I'll ask him. He's like, but you can't ask him anything about John Benet. I'm like, God damn it, Jeff. But he was like, they asked me to go to CrimeCon. And he's like, so I called Steve and I'm like, what's CrimeCon? Like, they have no idea what these things are, but I want to go.
It's super cool. I went the second year it was on. And then
maybe that's where we do the Midwest meetup.
Oh yeah. John Ramsey is actually on tour with my friend Melissa, who is from Unknown Number. Her cousin is the chick from Unknown Number, Kendra Lakari, the catfish mom. Yeah. So my friend Melissa is part of this group that tours with Gabby Petito's mom and stepmom and John Ramsey and other people in other documentaries. And yeah, it's crazy. Kelly is a pit bull. I love Kelly.
I have not met Annie.
No.
I watched her stuff for a while. I loved Annie. And then I got a really bad taste in my mouth when she interviewed Sherry Papini, and it seemed like PR for me. Yeah. And I was like, because I respected Annie so much. And I'm like, Annie, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? And she didn't ask her like any of the questions. Like, she really let her sit down and kind of have her moment. And I was like, I don't know why. I was very turned off by that point. I'm really starting to okay, listen. I listen to a lot of YouTube, and when I'm done, do you know who Peter Mann is?
Who?
Peter Mann.
No.
He's like a drama commentary channel who did beauty commentary, and he's a gay man in his 50s in Indiana, and I fucking love him. I'm like, wait,
I might actually, if I saw a face, I might.
I love Peter so much. I'm like, every time he gets on my screen, my husband will be like, how's Peter doing? I'm like, I love me some Peter. Hold on, let me show you this. So I listen to Peter. I like stuff that's like chewing gum for the brain, but also Peter is sober, and he talks a lot about sobriety and just different things. And
let's say, oh no, he's not who I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, I love Peter. And this kid too, Adam McIntyre, who came out for the Colleen Ballinger stuff about how he was groomed by Miranda Sings. I love him too. But
so I actually just became familiar with Emily D. Baker in the Corey Richins case. So
my queen.
I don't watch a lot of, and this is kind of my fault because I don't watch a lot of large cases. Like, I like to focus on smaller, lesser known cases. And, you know, Kelly's a good example of that, stuff that doesn't get talked about. So I really try to avoid larger cases, and I had avoided the Corey Richins trial for a long time until somebody in Discord was like, Tiffany, are you watching this?
I mean, that's your trial. That's all financial.
The financials. I am in love with that forensic analyst so much. I wish I could have done that for a living. I've never regretted my career choice so much after watching that woman. She was amazing, and it was an awesome trial. And then I was hooked, and then I'm like, oh my God, I love this Emily chick. She is amazing.
Emily is wonderful.
Yes.
I have a friend who is a a family law attorney, but also she is a law professor. And I'm like, come on. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, come on.
Let's do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
I don't watch Cold Case and American Justice. I don't watch regular TV. I listen to YouTube. I listen to stupid stuff.
I think Tony's dating us a little bit here because it is an older gal thing. I think. I don't know. My friends are actually they have 3 podcasts and they watch these shows too, and they're younger than me. But yeah, Bill Curtis is the GOAT, man.
I don't know what it is.
It just happened. CrimeCon just. So when I first went, it was brand new. Like it had been its, like I said, 2nd year. And now they're doing like several per year in all different locations. Here. I know they just did one, but there's one. It was at the end of May. It was
it just ended.
In Vegas. Yeah. And I'm not sure. It feels like they do more than just one a year now. Yeah, they're doing one in November in Fort Lauderdale. They also did a cruise one year too.
I don't know if I want to be on a cruise with a bunch of true crime people. I just cruises in general, I'm not interested, but
yeah, I went on a cruise for my 40th birthday, had a blast, but I don't with Melissa, surprisingly. But I don't know that I would do it for that because
Let's go. You got some channels for me? Let's go.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. There's something about the stories to them, the cases.
Mm-hmm.
I try to understand things. And so I think Emily is I think I can understand that. I can understand. No thanks in cases. No idea why I've never clicked with EDB. I think that like sometimes I'll be like, okay, stop pausing. But at the same time, I'm like, I love that she just explained that.
You know what though? I mean, that's anybody. You're gonna throw a dart and hit somebody online who you're just not gonna vibe with. And I mean, because there are people, right? There are people who have millions of subscribers, and I've had people who are like, you have to watch this person, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm sure I saw somebody on Reddit who this is why I stayed off of Reddit, because I was initially, when I started like blowing up a little bit, I started going on Reddit to see how people were like perceiving the channel. And nobody's ever said anything bad, or at least the moderators haven't let them. But somebody was like, yeah, but somebody had said like, I just don't know why I can't get into Bacon's channel. Like I like long form stuff and I don't like the live and other people were like, she has long form stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Why are you here? You're just, you're just not going to be, you could be the best cup of tea. Somebody's going to like coffee. Like that is just that. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't need to hear about it. Like there was a comment about my voice. I know my voice sucks. I don't have to hear about it.
I listen to it. It's in both my ears. I like it a lot.
I watched the civil rights attorney. He's good. He also covered the bricks and minifigs stuff too. But I don't know. There's just some, I don't know. Also, there's only so much time in a day.
Yeah. I just listen to stuff. I listen to it in the background. I don't know why, because I would just rather.
To that point, I wish documentary makers would really get on point, and these series makers would get on point with not putting like text on the screen without it being read out loud. Like you can't listen to a show anymore while you're doing something else because you'll miss a whole thing they said on the screen.
Yeah.
And the only reason you miss something is because there's silence. Like, tell me what it said. And I've tried screen readers to not skip it, and it doesn't help. Then they want to read everything. And
yeah, I'm irritated as shit. I mean, it gives me a job for what they left out, but I'm irritated with the documentaries, especially like somebody like Netflix who has a shit ton of money. For example, with the maternal instinct case, the amount of information that is pertinent to the case that you left out. Yeah. Why?
Oh, with Kendra's case, there was so much. Like, I wish they would have even, I don't think they did. I've watched it a few times. I don't think they did. But like, she wasn't required to register on the registry, on the offender registry, right? And that's mind-boggling to me, knowing the text messages she sent to those kids. And that, I don't know. I don't know. There was so much it's hard to cover. Like when this case happens, so much. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did. I told somebody to fuck off. I was not in the mood for it. Yeah.
In your stream?
Yeah. And then I literally interrupted Patrick and Bruce and said, hold on a minute. And I said, fuck off. Because
Tiffany, you kind little angel. What? I don't believe it.
I had come off not being in the mood for it. I don't feel well lately. Like I don't know what's going on with me, but I don't feel well. And so doing this stuff does take a lot of energy that I don't always have.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't in the mood for it. And somebody said that they were late. So they were watching like on 1.5 speed or 2 times speed, whatever it was. And they couldn't stand it with the ums and pauses or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, then fuck off. Don't watch. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like watching me, please don't watch me.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
that's all I can tell you about that. And but to feel the need to comment about it is wild.
my favorite thing though is when people want to tell you how to stream and they don't have a profile picture. Please do it better.
It's the same people like in any social media who are like, oh, you should run this page this way. You should run it that way.
Right.
Then you open one, create one.
Do it.
Create your own subreddit. I have yet to find, somebody proved me wrong, a Reddit, a subreddit, whatever it's called. I truly don't know the difference. That equals the one we have for these cases, the Justice for Clayton subreddit.
Yeah.
I instantly I start seeing the minifigs thing and I'm like, okay, where's the Reddit to get all the information? No fucking information on that stuff. Yeah.
The thing about rude comments, I've never, I mean, unless it was horrifically warranted, I can't even remember a time where I've left a negative comment, even critiquing something online. You just fucking scroll past.
Right.
It's that fast.
It's the energy that it takes to do that is because here's the thing. Have I thought about it? For sure. Have I typed it out and backspaced it out? Sure. Because I don't have the energy to say it or respond to it. Man, there's so many people banned from Reddit. My friend who runs the Charlie Project, I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't.
It's a missing persons website database. It's massive. She
Thank you, Zippy.
She every once in a while she'll post that she was banned from Reddit and she argues with them. She's autistic and she argues with them about it and she wins. Like she gets unbanned, but it's a whole thing being banned. I haven't been banned from Reddit yet.
It's just so funny. Or like there's been people who have like said shit to me in like DMs and I'm like, okay, and
right.
Like
when what took it off was the comment I shared with you about, my voice. And then the other one was somebody had said, and I even said it at the top of my video, I'm like, I'm not in the mood for anybody's shit tonight because, one person said something about my voice, which I already told you, full disclosure, my voice sucks. Secondly, another person said, watch any other channel besides mine. They recommend any other channel besides mine because I don't update.
I recommend Bacon Bear's channel when BigTiff is on.
They were like, she doesn't update, she doesn't respond to comments, whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, if you can find somebody who's covering this exact stuff in the way that I'm doing it, go for it, find them. Good luck to you.
Right.
Because
just
I'm not for everybody.
Go do it though then. Go find another channel.
I said, and I don't say my illness a lot, but I said, I have to answer your complaint. I have multiple sclerosis.
Mm-hmm.
This is my hobby, right? I don't get paid. This is my hobby. Yeah. I do what I can when I can. And if you can find a channel that covers this stuff in a way that satisfies you, go watch it. Good luck to you. And so that's how I started off the stream. And then that person said that. And I was like,
good. I like it. I don't know why. I think you're so nice. It surprises me that you have it in you.
Oh, yeah. My husband was not surprised.
I thought Big Tiff Dog was like an ironic name because you're so kind and nice and like.
I will say I've always been a right fighter my whole life. I've argued to the ends. And I would say in the last maybe decade, I've really slowed that down. I'm like, you get a lot of peace from not responding. You really do. Like, just not even letting somebody's comment just hang out there and not even be acknowledged is really satisfying. But that one I had to. It's like, whatever.
Well, there's people, there was something, I forgot who it was. Oh, maybe it was Megan. It was when I was streaming with Megan. Somebody had made a comment. They're like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not going to watch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, there will be no slander in my chat
Right.
about myself or people that I have on here.
Yeah.
And whatever, if you agree with them or don't agree with them, you can have constructive conversations. You don't have to attack them as a person. And that's
Yeah.
what I don't understand.
Yeah. Like, I mean, do I align with everybody's political views? No. But that's okay.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about Laura.
Little Tiff puppy. That's
me.
how I envision her in my brain.
Like when a cartoon gets mad.
Yeah, I just, and there's people, my favorite is they go after my looks. They're like, I can't trust a word somebody says when they have a fucking neck tattoo. You'd be so attractive if you didn't have a neck tattoo. And I'm like, my
What about-
husband's a 10. I'm not worried about some fucking 3-toed tea towel hanging out in his mom's basement, fucking hate commenting, whatever.
But I mean, honestly, even if it's a fucking GQ model making that comment, I don't need you. I have
Right.
my husband. I'm good. Thank you. I mean,
Yeah,
what do they
I'm
think
not-
about turkey neck? Whatever.
It's so funny.
Yes.
Who asked? Who got up and asked you? Oh
Yeah,
my God.
That's what I think of.
Johnny Boy 378 doesn't like the way I look.
Right.
Oh,
Truth teller.
sad.
Truth teller hates that I don't give them updates. I mean, it's
Thank you,
available.
Marcus.
First of all, it is. I agree with that.
So when I got this was my first tattoo, and I was 23 years old, and I got it in a guy's garage. Okay, because I'm classy like that.
Of course.
And it's for the four of us. It's me, and then my two siblings in the middle are twins, and then my youngest sister is right there.
Oh, cool.
And I used to get so much shit for it, and people are like, it's permanent, right? Blah blah blah. And then when people would be like, "Why'd you get a neck tattoo?" I always just used to answer, "Prison," and they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know if you can. Oh, you can't see it. There's my arm.
Oh, it's
tattoo.
cute.
I don't know, why can't I position my arm like
I
the
have
right
one
way?
like that too, where you're like, all right,
Oh,
wait.
here we go. Let's scooch on over there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I have that. I got that a few years ago. It's actually, gosh, 8 years ago now. Hello. My daughter-in-law actually found it. She didn't design it, but she found the design, and then she got one that's black and white. So we both have matching ones. Yeah. I have one. I have two others, but we won't talk about that.
We are in tangent session. We're on the last. I gotta go in about 5 minutes. We're on the last minutes.
I like tangents. I'm all, as you can see, I'm all about it. Yeah, I think these guys have really stepped into it though. I can't wait for that.
I just need to know if she's gonna go to trial.
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out. Like I said, I don't think we've seen a notice of appearance yet in the bankruptcy case. Let's see. Nope, no alerts. So looks like that attorney isn't coming in at the beginning of the week to save the day.
I have 3 tattoos and 2 other tattoos. Plead or trial. I think I'm hopeful and I want the trial. But the smarter move would be a plea deal.
Yeah. But that's not going to happen, in my opinion.
But she can't
I don't
admit
know.
guilt.
Right. Like I said, just that email that she read.
So I don't know if we'll know by Friday. So Friday is the plea deal deadline. The actual hearing for the CCM is 10:45 on Monday. So I think we'll know Monday or after. I'll tell you, the last trial date, it was like April something. I sat around my house the whole day.
Yeah.
I looked like that. Have you ever seen that Quentin Tarantino meme where he's just standing around his house?
Yes. Yes.
That was me all day.
Yeah. So wait, the 7s are on Sundays this month. So the 30th is a Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. That's the date, right? The 30th. And the 30th is like the day,
no.
right? Or
So
is
the
it the 20th?
30th is okay. So there's a lot going on.
I
Friday,
know.
we have
I'm bad
the
at it.
plea deadline or
Okay.
change of plea.
Okay.
Monday, we have a 1045 complex case management.
29th. Okay.
Yes, which is Monday. We also, on the 29th, have the Michael Maricini appeal dismissal.
Okay. Why did I think that was the 30th too? Okay.
The 30th is the meeting of creditors.
Yep.
And then they'll go into July 1st for whatever
The
else it was.
hearing. The continuation of the hearing. Yeah.
Right. The hearing. And then if all goes well, the trial at the end of the month for Laura.
Yeah. The trial scheduling. The trial will be August, but the scheduling will happen.
You hear that, Pear Pit? It'll be August. Get ready to move in. I'm going to need you to watch these kids.
Oh, I got a super legit job offer from Nick. Yeah, okay.
From just like a guy named
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah. Home health care aid. Dude, I need a home health care aid, okay? Let's not be putting me in that position. I can barely.
I absolutely adore my sponsor offers. It's like it's from like it'll be some big like Road Mics or something. It'll be like all it says is like one sentence. We like your content. Email us back. And I'm like, bro.
Come
at
on.
least put some effort. Would you?
Right. Yeah. Smoosh me a little bit. Play the game a little bit.
The gauntlet is next week. Right.
Yeah. I'm excited for what's to come for the end of this week and for next week for the 30th and the 1st. I know. I feel like I try not to get my hopes up, I guess, with the criminal stuff, that something will happen. I just, in my mind, I said it as nothing's going to happen. We're not going to find anything out. That way I'm not disappointed when nothing happens and we don't find anything out. Now, if we don't find anything out on the bankruptcy stuff, I will be heartbroken.
If she goes to trial, could she try to push that back? I mean, they can file motions and stuff, but eventually a judge could just be like, we're going.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Careful with sponsor offers. Many YouTube creator channels were hijacked after reading an email from a sponsor offer. Took weeks to get their channels back.
I have heard of that. I've heard of that. Actually, I have one friend that had his channel hijacked. So I've heard of that.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. Like, yeah, I am impressed with this judge. I will say that, this bankruptcy judge. Which, I mean, it shouldn't surprise me. I think federal courts are probably on a different level, right?
Yeah.
Of quality. I don't know if that's the right word, but she seemed to be right on it. Like, right on it.
All right. They want the song. And then I got to go.
Yeah, I got to.
Let's manifest.
The dishwasher.
Because that's what we do. We tell Laura so stupid to go to trial. Laura Owens. Do it. We believe you. Tell your story. Go to trial. You're not a liar. We believe you. Do it. Stretch it. Hey, Laura Owens. Go to trial. We believe you. Everybody else is lying. Go to trial. Laura Owens, you can do it. We believe you. You guys, what are we going to manifest afterwards? I'm going to have to come up with another song. My God.
I don't know. Rico. No, I'm just joking. Everybody got upset.
Rico, steal some bikes. You can do it. Oh my God. All right, friends.
Yep.
Yes. Get a library card.
Yes.
Subscribe to Tiff. I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. doing something. I don't know what that is, but I will be here.
Awesome.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.